And here we are. Good to see you guys. Thank you so very much. We are live. We are live. I got a video tonight I wanted to do with you guys. This is something that I could have put into just a video, but I'm already working on my new video. It'll be up this week. But it's a subject I wanted to cover, and sometimes this happens with me. I'll find a subject I'm really interested in, something I want to share with you guys, but I don't know. I feel like there's too much just to put in a video, because this is one of those. It's signs of the times at the end of this age. There's a lot to share, and that's why I wanted to do more like just a live show to do this. And we're going to be watching a lot of videos, and it really is what the title is. These are signs of the times at the end of this age. We're about to enter the final age of man. I've talked about this all the time. V. You see the V symbolism. I used to talk a lot more about that many years ago, but the V5, the fifth age symbolism, in all kinds of things. And there was a period of time there. For a few years, I covered it a lot more, but it's still out there. I still see it all the time. The V, the 5, the fifth age, the last age of man, the age of Antichrist, the age of Aquarius. And we're right there on the verge. We're in that season right now where it's all about to pop off. And everything's really being set up. It's pretty amazing, especially with everything happening in the Middle East. Every few weeks, there's a new situation that comes up where it looks like it could be a peace and safety situation, but then sudden destruction, which comes from the Bible. Y'all know about that. We're certainly in that situation right now with all things that are happening out there. The recent attack, I guess you could say, that America did in the Middle East with Iran, that things are really being set up. Because right now, the mainstream media in America keeps pumping us with the idea of keeping your head on a swivel, be fearful, because these guys could attack at any time. So it's all set up. Who will it actually be that starts it? That's the question. Certainly we're in a false hyphen flag situation to where the Illuminati could certainly do anything right now, and then have the mainstream, of course, blame it on whoever they want to blame it on. Of course, most likely a lot of that blame will go to Orange Man, because the mainstream media says Orange Man is bad constantly. So we'll see, man. But besides all that, we know we're in that season. Most of you understand we're in that season. If you don't know that, man, we are in the season of the end. We're in the season of the tribulation beginning, of Jesus coming for his bride. We're right there. So I just wanted to show you some videos tonight, go over different topics and subjects, and just see what you think also. But these are just, to me, some of the ways I notice week to week, going through all the news and everything else I go through to do my shows and videos. Just different trends I'm finding, and I think it's very interesting that these things are happening right now in 2025 while we're literally at the doorstep of tribulation. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I look forward to doing that with you. Thanks for being here. Tamara, I always got to shout you out, man. Thank you so much for being here and for being my moderator, like my only moderator. I don't just throw out the moderation thing to anybody, and we've tried some other people throughout the years, man, and it's crazy the kind of stuff that happens. It's like sometimes it just doesn't work out, and there's a lot of different reasons why. Hidden Underbelly, good to see you, man. Legend 2.0. You know what? It was really cool. I just had a message under my most recent KJ's What Happened from Disclose Screen Grim Refar. Big fan of him and Hidden Underbelly, because they're a lot like the channel that I show a lot on KJ's What Happened. Myra Moore, paranormal chick. These people, these guys, and Myra have got a love and interest for the supernatural, the paranormal, and the weird, just like I do. So this is what they post. But Disclosed Screen Grim Refar had gone through some tough health challenges for a while. But he's back, just posted something a couple days ago, and I saw him message me under KG's What Happened. What a pleasure. So if you're listening, Disclosed Screen, I hope you're doing well. Hope things are going good. You're healing. And it's always good to see you back here. And again, thanks. Same with Hidden Underbelly. He did a live show today. I jumped in there just for a little bit, so thank you, man. I just love the people that are into the weird and strange, just like me. It's that simple. So I appreciate you. Good to see you guys so much. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it here, because guys, I've got plenty to get into tonight. Once again, these are signs of the end times at the end of this age. And there is, as I said, plenty to get into. It's all kind of, it's a mishmash. You know how I do, but we'll glide through it smoothly, I think. So let's do it. All right. So first up, then, let's go ahead and jump over here and give a screen, because the first thing I got to get into is this: the fact that, if you didn't know, this is one of the prophecies in the Bible that we're living in right now. That's happening in real time. This is it. Matthew 24. You can check Matthew 24. And I want to read a little bit from here, and then we'll go into some of the videos. So this is talking about the days we're in. All right. The temple, as you know, is your body. All right. There is a physical temple they're going to build. But a lot of times when we're talking about the temple in the Bible, it's talking about your body is the temple. And if you accepted Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior, He resides within you. He's literally within you. It's beautiful. But painful, too, sometimes, because we're in the flesh and we screw up and we do stupid things and we follow the flesh sometimes, knowing that Jesus still resides within, causing Him to participate in the sins that we're participating in ourselves. It ain't easy. Trust me, man, I know. I feel it. I'm right there with you. But you know what? Don't ever let that sin carry you away. Know that we all struggle with things. And Jesus will heal you. He's healed me and removed things from my life, but sometimes I found myself returning to some of these sins that He took away from me. And the Bible talks about that. You'll, like a dog returning to his vomit, some of you will return back to your sin, even once you've been healed from it. And that sucks. It's painful, man. Trust me, I know. But so is the walk we have with the Lord, right? So, signs of the times at the end of the age, Matthew 24. Now as He sat on the Mount of Olives, this is Jesus, the disciples came to Him privately, saying, "Tell us, what will these things be, and what will be the sign of you coming at the end of the age?" Yes, the end of this age. And at the end of the fifth age, Jesus comes back, but He comes back with a sword. We come back with Him. And He sets His feet on this earth with a sword of fire, and everything's going to burn. And I'm with it. I get it. I understand this beast system needs to go. Jesus answered and said to them, "Take heed that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Christ.'" Remember, we just had that guy from the Middle East coming out saying he was the Mahdi. Just as one example. There have been so many others. "Many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Christ,' and will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars." Where are we right now, guys? That's happening now. "See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom." Seeing it happen right now. "And there will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places." Another one we're seeing a lot of right now. "All these are just the beginning of sorrows." Isn't that something? Much worse is to come. Tribulation's not going to look like this world we have right now. It's going to be very different. "And then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake." I think a lot of that's coming during the tribulation. And then it says, and here's one that we're seeing right now in real time, "And then many will be offended, and they will betray one another and will hate one another." Offense. There's whole YouTube channels dedicated to this particular idea of all the people in the world getting offended so easily at fast food restaurants or wherever they are. People freaking out, getting offended, and attacking, and getting violence. You see it all the time. Many people will be offended, and it goes back to the triggering we see in this system. People getting triggered really quick and being offended really quick. And the madness that some people are putting out there towards just a red baseball cap with the words "Make America Great Again." That symbol itself is a triggering device, and we've seen people lose their frickin' minds over this. So I call these people triple P's, perfectly programmed people by the system. And it's sad, and I see it everywhere. And there's different levels of this programming. There's different programs for them to program people with. But many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. You got to be real wise in these days, man. Really lean on the Lord. If you haven't accepted that free gift of salvation, I beg you to take it now. Because that's what it's all about, man. And you need the spiritual eyes, that wisdom from the Holy Spirit, to really understand and see beyond the veil during these days. Because again, it's just so much delusion and deception taking place. Many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. The lawlessness, I mean, specifically in America, you see it a lot in the so-called blue cities, with the governors and the mayors just letting violence and madness run rampant and run wild on purpose, by design, right? And because lawlessness will abound, think of all the cities being ripped apart we've seen over the last 5 years or so. The love of many will grow cold, but he who endures to the end shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all the nations, and then the end will come. So some of this is tribulation style. The great tribulation. Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let him who is on the housetop not go down to take anything out of his house. And let him who is in the field not go back to his clothes. This is immediate. It's like you have to do this now, right? There's no time. But woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing babies in those days. This is during the tribulation. And pray that your flight may not be in winter or on the Sabbath. For then there will be great tribulation, such as not been seen since the beginning of the world until this time, no, nor ever shall be. And unless those days were shortened, no flesh would be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days will be shortened. We're already experiencing that, in my opinion. I see people online all the time over the last couple of years, and not all of them are Christians. Not all of them have Jesus. And they're feeling this too. Like, what's going on with time? Why is everything going so quick? I feel it. I sense it. I'm the same, man. I see it too. I'm not a bandwagon kid. Like, oh, everyone else is saying I'm going to. Man, I've been feeling it. Been talking about it for years now. But for the elect's sake, those days will be shortened. Then if anyone says to you, look, here's the Christ, or there, do not believe it. For false Christs and false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders to deceive. I'm watching that too. Sometimes I think about Elon Musk a lot with stuff like this too. Showing great signs and wonders, everything happening with AI, everything happening with the AI God he's talking about, that even he says he's worried about. Show great signs and wonders. If possible, even the elect will be deceived. See, I have told you beforehand. Therefore, if I say to you, look, he is in the desert, do not go out or look. He is in the inner rooms, do not believe it. For as the lightning comes from the east and flashes to the west, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. For wherever the carcass is, there the eagles will be gathered together. All right, so I think that's, here's some about the coming of the Lord for the rapture. But of the day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so also will be the coming of man, the coming of the Son of Man. For as in the days before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage, just like right now, until the day that Noah entered the ark, and did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also will the coming of the Son of Man be. We're totally in those times. They're straight up in front of our face, they're altering people's DNA. And if you took the poison, unfortunately, if you did, from a few years ago, this is giving you a third strand of your DNA. It's altering who you are from the inside out. I've shown you some of this as well. And if you have taken that poison, but then later you woke up and realized this was a bad thing, turn to Jesus, man. That's it. He's the answer. He's the great physician, the great healer. It's just going to be very, very important that you repent, if you will, from these things, that you turn away from the poison, you change your mind on what this stuff is, and you flee from it. Very important. Love this. Then 2 men will be in the field. One will be taken and the other left. 2 women will be grinding at the mill. One will be taken and the other left. See, that's why I don't get into big debates and arguments with people who don't think this is real, that it's not happening. This is just one of the scriptures. And it's like I'd almost like to lay out, I need to sometime, to the next person who argues about this, lay out all these scriptures that specifically mention, they're talking about him coming for his bride, and ask these people, what's your interpretation of this then? What do you think it means when it says, then 2 men will be in the field, one will be taken and the other left? 2 women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken and the other left. Was it like bad guys taking them or something? No. No. Watch therefore, for you do not know what hour your Lord is coming. But know this, that if the master of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not allowed his house to be broken into. Therefore you also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. I think about that all the time, and I look at it through the best I can, through the devil's eyes, if you will. And that's why I know that this alien UFO deception, that's why it's here, and that's why it's coming on so strong. I've been doing videos on that for, 10 years. That's what's up. That's where we're at. The faithful servant, the evil servant. Who then is a faithful and wise servant who his master made ruler over his household to give them food in due season? Blessed is that servant whom his master, when he comes, will find him doing. Assuredly, I say to you that he will make him ruler over all his goods. But if that evil servant says in his heart, my master is delaying his coming, and begins to beat his fellow servants and to eat and drink with the drunkards, the master of that servant will come on a day when he is not looking for him, at an hour that he is not aware of, and will cut him in two and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. I read that, I always think, like, don't let the devil steal your crown. We're at the end right now, man. We're right there at the end of the road. We're so close, man. And hey, there's still things I struggle with in life too. Trust me, man. It ain't perfect over here either, but I'm ready. I'm with the Lord. I know he's got my back, and I'm watching, So I wanted to share some of that first. What else I got over here before we get into some of the videos? Here it is. The Great Delusion. Talked about this in videos and shows over the last few years, with the massive amount of delusion that's taken place in this world. I mean, even just straight to Obama, and his wife. Come on, really? And the children. I've shown you that too. It's the Nesbitt's children, right? Which are the Obama's, I guess they're medical providers and friends. But it's all delusion. Michelle, of course, as we know, is Michael, right? But the delusion, man, so many people that just can't see it. And to me, that's one of the easiest. But then it just goes on. And so many other examples of the delusion people are under, like Brittany Griner is another one. Straight up, I've shown clips of this person talking. That's a dude. It's a dude, but the world, sees it's a woman. See, these are just a couple examples, man. It just goes on and on. You understand. But in the book of Revelation, God is seen pouring out his just wrath, I agree, on an unbelieving world. In Revelation 6:16 through 17, wicked mankind tries to hide under rocks just to avoid Jesus. Now, you know about Mark Zuckerberg building that thing out in Hawaii, that bunker, and I've seen some of these other billionaires out there talking about their bunkers, right? Wicked mankind tries to hide under rocks just to avoid Jesus. Kids, you can't hide. He's coming, and you better be scared. If you don't have him, if you're not connected with Christ, if you haven't accepted that free gift of salvation, hell is coming for this world, quickly. They do not want him to come and force them to stop their sinful ways and wicked existence. They realize his power, preeminence, and coming judgment, but they absolutely hate him for it. They love their wickedness so much that they hate the only one who could set them free from eternal condemnation and a life enchained to the devil. Their minds and hearts are clouded by a great delusion. Yes, the delusion of the wicked is that they see death as life, and they willfully and continuously injure themselves with their sin. There is a great delusion upon this world right now. There's even bigger ones coming, in particular the UFO alien psyop that's coming, that I believe that's Satan's plan to put that in to try to explain the great disappearance. Right? But that's me. That's something I've been watching for years. All right, let's jump into some things. Here's one right here, trucking industry. I look at different industries also and the way things are changing. Trucking's historic slump, how overcapacity and undocumented drivers have reshaped the industry. Trucking industry is being destroyed, but see, my opinion is it's all by design because AI-powered self-driving software is disrupting the trucking industry. Plus, automation leads the charge in driverless freight with its advanced SuperDrive system. Here's a little clip it looks like, one of these things.
You know, this is not a clip from a disaster film like Final Destination. That's a real driverless semi-truck on the highway. I'm Kurt the Cyber Guy. Follow me at cyberguy.com. See why so many people get my newsletter for absolutely nothing. Well, this technology is from the merger of two big innovators to make this AI initiative go public as a company called Plus AI. Their software-based autonomous driving tech has already racked up over 5 million miles in driving tests. It's creating an impressive data pool of driving intelligence for the company's self-driving system that they call SuperDrive. Plus AI says that it's on track to launch commercial autonomous trucks as soon as 2027, starting in the US and then eventually going to Europe with this. And this merger is going to give the tech startup access to the capital and strategic support to make this all possible. So how will you feel driving alongside fleets of self-driving autonomous trucks on the highway? Do you trust the tech, or would you still prefer seeing a human operator behind the wheel? Let me know in your...
And if you didn't know, Elon Musk has got a whole fleet of these driverless freights ready to roll. All right, so all by design. I've been for years, I've been calling this the post-human existence. This is what they're preparing for, the system is. Because they know there's about to be a great taking away. All right, so that's why we're seeing so much automation right now, AI, everything's starting to come in, take over. These will also be main parts of the final system, of course. It's going to be a digital system. They're moving the world into IoT and IOB, which is the Internet of Things and the Internet of Bodies. I've covered this in the past. If you're not familiar with it, go look it up. Go look up the definition of Internet of Things and the Internet of Bodies. And that's the future. That's the future that they're preparing for. So they know there's going to be a lot of people gone. All right. So we start seeing more of this AI and automation coming in. Here's one I want to share some of the clips from. This is why Gen Z and millennials feel so mentally and financially drained. Remember that, Gen Z, also Z, the last letter of the alphabet, is the last generation for this world. We're close to it at least. I don't know if there'll be a Gen Alpha. Some people are saying there's going to be a Gen Alpha, but regardless, we're pretty much at the end of the road. It's so interesting how that Gen Z fell perfectly into this biblical timeline where we really are at the end of the age and the end of the world in that sense. So Gen Z and the millennials, you can't throw them all into the bus, but they are the most programmed generations in history. But every week on KJ's What Happened, I try to profile even the young, Gen Zs, millennials, who are doing really cool things, who are figuring it out and who aren't completely brainwashed by this whole system. Though many of them are, that's unfortunate. Many of them are. This is literally, we're looking at the last generation of humanity in this world as it exists. So we shouldn't be surprised that it's going to be a little crazy for some of these folks. I want to share a couple of these clips right here. Why Gen Z and millennials feel so mentally and financially drained. Remembering that this is the last generation of man, right?
Just feels so exhausted right now.
No wonder Gen Z don't want to work. They're burnt out. Millennials are burnt out. The truth is, I am always burnt out.
I'm worried that at the end of the day, I just don't want a job.
I hate my job.
Corporate burnout is very real.
Y'all stay with me on this one. So the baby boomers and the Gen X's, our parents and grandparents, are always saying this generation's so lazy. They don't want to work. They don't want to do anything. Why would we? Because look at what the system has done us. We're burnout. Gen Zs don't want to work because they see how burnout the millennials are because they can't get ahead in today's world. Okay? Y'all come from a society where you worked, you could afford a house, you could afford a family, you could take your family on vacation, you had a nice car, and you worked 40 hours a week, off every weekend. Now what's even crazier to me is you got people that are making $100,000, $120,000, $150,000 a year that can't afford a house because houses are $100,000 houses now $400,000. They can't even get approved for it. Then you got kids that the Gen X is pushing college. So these kids go to college. Then they get out of college. For one, if they can even find work, they find work. It's a good paying job. But now student loans eating up their paycheck. So what's the sense if we...
I'm still paying my student loans, by the way. I don't know about you guys. Years later, yeah, it's a racket.
Can't get ahead in life. No wonder nobody wants to work. No wonder Gen Z don't want to work. They're burnt out. Millennials are burnt out.
I feel like the reason that we all feel burned out in 2025 is because burnout has never been like this before, where we can burn ourselves out without even moving. It's like the entire rat race is happening while we're just sitting still, staring at our phones. Burnout of the past used to be like, oh, I gotta run to this meet up, and then I gotta go to work, and then I gotta go to the groceries, and then I gotta go to the gym, and then I gotta go to blah, blah, and you're just like, your whole life is just like bouncing around. Now we're not even moving.
I hate my job. I am literally crying at my desk 3 to 4 days out of the week. I feel guilty to speak about the fact that it's a great job, but no matter how good of a job it is not my purpose. It's not. And if you are a purpose-driven person with dreams and there's something that you want to do with your life, it does not matter where you sit if you know for sure that seat does not belong to you. And I am tired of crying at this desk. I'm tired of feeling anxiety. I'm tired of feeling like I'm so unhappy, you know? And I was talking to my therapist the other day, and she's like, what do you want to do? And I'm just like, I want to teach women how to love themselves more. I want to show up for other moms and other women. I want to do monthly meetups. I want to do events. I want to travel. I want to, have this huge community that is growing, that's all about women showing up for themselves, and all the things, and she was like, so why don't you create a company? And I promise you, I started crying because I have a company. It's called Her Glow, and I've done the brunches and I've done the meetups, but Her Glow is not taking care of my bills. You know what I'm saying?
It's people trying to create a future where there is no future. There's no long-term future in this world. There just isn't. And when the tribulation begins and all the things start happening, the world's going to be a very, very different place.
Corporate burnout is very real. I know people that are 27, 28, 29 that are already burnt out of corporate America because it's draining. It's sucking everything out of your life, especially in a world where you can't really afford much. I am an advocate for taking your PTO, creating a long weekend, maybe taking a Friday and a Monday off. Job security is important, making sure that you keep your job, but at the same time, you're not just solely existing to work your corporate job.
I don't know if it's just me, but do anybody else feel like life is just a repetitive cycle? I literally feel like I do the same thing every single day. I get up, I make breakfast, take the kids to school, go to work, come home, sleep. And I do it every single day. Like, it's just a non-stop process. Like, I'm at the point where I'm so tired of chasing paper. I'm so tired of trying to figure out where I can make extra income, where I can make extra money. Like, I really feel like there's times where I just have not been able to enjoy life itself. I feel like every time I turn around, there's a bill that's due. And then for some odd reason, I never have enough funds to pay that bill. And then I gotta go chase money to pay that bill. I'm tired of paying fucking bills. And let's be real, hustling is one of the most tiringest things. Like, it's not fun. There's nothing fun about the grind. Can we stop pretending like grinding is just so fun? It is the most annoying, miserable thing ever.
I've reached
I guess, what some would call stage 5 advanced burnout with my job. I am a therapist. I live in New York. I pay for everything myself. I work at a private practice, a group practice, which means that I don't get paid a salary. It is a fee-for-service position, meaning that I get paid per the client hour. I have not taken more than 3 days off, including weekends, 3 consecutive days off, since I started working. That is insane to me. I have a caseload of 34 clients, hefty caseload. Some people in community health, mental health are gonna say like, that's nothing. Y'all are angels, I don't know how you do it. But I have not been able to budget a vacation because I am covering the cost of everything in my life and feeling like I am drowning and suffocating under student loan payments and rent and like everything, all of the above. And my rent is very reasonable. My rent is extremely reasonable. With a master's degree, I should be able to do all of this, but I can't. And I know that this is the experience for so many Americans.
There's a good one here. I just saw somebody in chat. Oh my goodness. All right, hold on. And they said, here it is, from Sojourner for Christ says, come out of her, my people, lest you partake of her sins and receive of her plagues. Yes. I love it. It's another example of why it goes back to the chosen ones thing. You see a lot of people talk about the chosen ones online. Some of these folks get into more of a new agey kind of a thing with that, but others are Christians, and they see it as the Lord pulling his children away from this world. And I'm right there with that. I've been living that. Many of you, I'm sure, are experiencing that, whether you're single or married or whatever. Maybe you and your partner feel you're getting pulled away more from this world. And it's a good thing because this world is increasingly growing much more evil, which makes sense. You know, it tracks for the times we're in. So, of course, it's going to. But, yeah, these are the times to just draw closer to the Lord, you know, the best you can. Reading the Word with him, praying, talking to him. I pray all day long, but it's not just to him. It's about people. I may see somebody on a reality show that's a freaking train wreck. I'm just saying, and I'll pray for that. But Lord, please let them know who you are. Make a move in their life. Please, you know, just things like that, man. That's just me. But just, you know, always maintaining a relationship with him, talking to him, engaging with him. If you had a boyfriend or girlfriend in this life and you didn't talk to him for like weeks at a time, except for when you needed help, you know, how would that relationship work out? It's not going to be very great, right? So, yeah, he's a part of us. He's literally residing within you if you've accepted that free gift of salvation. So he's always there. He's always accessible. And, you know, we include him in our life, you know. All right, I'll go and move on from that. So we get a little bit of an idea of that. And there's so many of these testimonials from people. This is over on the TikTok time capsule. I appreciate these channels that do massive compilations, too. Just put it all together, man. I like that. Inflation is crushing people. Rent, food, and the cost of living in Canada is out of control. So it's not just America. Let's see some of these testimonials here.
This is for anyone thinking of moving to Canada.
The average house price is $757,000.
Our food prices are outrageous.
Average rent in Canada is now $2,149 a month.
Body wash was $14. Toothpaste was like $12.
Why is there not more outrage?
Canada is not a great place to live anymore.
Here we have a pack of drumsticks from Costco. $202 for this pack, or $224 for this one. Moral of the story, don't move here.
As many of you guys already know, I'm very well off, but I gotta tell you, things are so expensive right now. I don't know what the hell happened and how it happened so fast. And here's a perfect example. Here's my natural gas bill, right? There's a customer charge, there's the delivery fee, there's the carbon tax, and then there's the gas supply charge. So that's how much I actually used. I used $97. The carbon tax is literally 100%. It just doubled my bill. Well, effectively, it doubled my usage. The insurance on my wife's BMW is just as much as it is on my Ferrari. Like, that's how crazy things
the-
have gotten. And I gotta be honest, it's not even like it's like a luxurious BMW. And I know that might sound contradictory. It's a 3 Series. It's a nice car, but it's just so much. My property tax bill came in for the house. I think it was 16,000. I think the insurance for my house was 3 or 4,000. I think all my cars combined, maybe it was 12, 14,000 for the year. I can't remember. I have to prepay my taxes every single year. The government wants their pound of flesh before I make my money. I won't even tell you how much that is. And then groceries, we literally spend about $4,000 a month. We have 3 boys. I mean, I'm a pretty decent sized guy. I eat a lot. I eat about 4,000 calories a day. So the amount of food we consume is quite a lot. And I know I shouldn't be complaining. And I know you're probably like offended by the fact that I'm complaining, but how do you people do it? How do people survive? Like, I don't understand.
A few years ago, I remember there were videos of Canadian citizens like sitting in their cars crying about the high cost of living, that they cannot afford groceries or like basic necessities. I didn't really understand it at the time because the last time that I went to Canada, like 7 years ago, it was perfectly affordable for me. But last week I went to Montreal and I completely understand now. I was really ill prepared for the trip, so once I actually went there, I had to buy these basic necessities like toothpaste, toothbrush, body wash, things like that. And when I saw the prices for these items in their grocery store, my jaw dropped. I kid you not, but body wash was $14, toothpaste was like $12, like one toothbrush was like $7. And some people will say, well, you get paid in USD, you know, the currency is stronger. But what about the people who get paid in CAD?
Good point.
That's not really an excuse because the price itself is crazy for the people who actually live there. And another crazy thing that I noticed was the tax. Like, tax in Canada is crazy. I remember I ordered these 2 items on Uber, which together was like $13. Y'all, tell me why they added $10 tax on these 2 small items. Throughout my time being there, I just found it absurd that like the price that I initially thought I was going to pay was nowhere near what I actually ended up paying. And of course, this is me speaking as a New Yorker, but I found New York City a lot more affordable than Montreal.
You guys peep this. This is how I know Canada is officially going downhill. $16.97 for deodorant.
Oh my gosh.
This explains why Canadians have never felt
Oh my god. $17 for deodorant?
so poor. Canada is the per capita economic growth laggard for the last 10 years. Look at this. 0.5% annualized GDP growth per capita. Look at all the other countries. This is absolutely pathetic. Look at the United States. This is because of our government and their horrific policies around immigration, around our economy, around investing in innovation, around how we treat capital gains and try to bring in and attract business investment. This speaks to all of the failed strategies and plays that this government has deployed. It has been a total disaster. High taxes, services that are failing us, an economy that is failing us. We've had 8 quarters of negative GDP per capita growth.
Now remember, guys, the big picture of all this, because it's going to continue, is that, and even Elon Musk has mentioned this, but this final system coming in, there's going to be a UBI. It's going to be universal basic income, because all the jobs are being destroyed. You know, it's all part of the plan, right? When we get there, that's what it's going to be. And of course, that's going to be a massive control mechanism for this beast system. As you know, if you're sitting here getting a check from the government every month, it's going to be great at first, but in due time, you're going to have to pay the price. It's going to be a social credit system just like they have in China. That's a part of this final beast system, and it's being put in place everywhere. And so are the 15-minute cities, quote unquote. And we're seeing a lot of these things being developed and created now too. So we're literally watching the formation of that final system coming into place. So certainly all these people losing their jobs, all these industries crashing, it's a part of it. It's going to move humanity into a place where they can't afford to do anything. But once they offer a universal basic income, it's going to be a whole other story. And unfortunately, that's going to be one of the ways they hook people into eventually taking that mark, right? You want to keep your benefits? Yeah. Then okay, do this, right? Something else I wanted to share. It's the infantilization. Is that a word? Of society, of humanity. I'm Gen X. I'm part of it too, and a lot of us didn't really grow up the way our past generations did. You know, a lot of us are still playing video games, and most Gen X have got at least one tattoo. Like, we're all tatted up playing video games. That was a part of it. But really, it's arrested development. You know, we see it a lot more in the younger generations, but also Gen X was the beginning of arrested development, of people still acting like children while they're well into their 40s and 50s. And here's a good example from a website called Mr. Grizzy. MCU shills react to the Fantastic Four First Steps final trailer. The main reason I want to show you some of these clips, though, is, again, just to kind of hammer in that point that this system has certainly caused this. Will Ferrell, being one of the most popular movie actors there for a while, was constantly embodying this idea of infantilization, the arrested development, never really growing up and being a responsible adult, you know, still being kind of a freaking knucklehead. But look at how emotional some of these people get over this Fantastic Four new movie coming out. I think it looks like trash, personally, but I'm not a big comic book, you know, movie guy. That's just me. I'm not a fan. The last really good movie I think I saw was Sinners, and I put that in one of my videos. Aside from all the devilish tactics they're using in that film, you know, as far as putting that to the side, you know, my degree is in screenwriting, so I'm a writer. I've been a writer all my life. Haven't made any money on it, but I do love writing and expressing. So as far as writing goes, cinematography, acting, story, I thought it was awesome, you know. But as I showed you in my video, of course, there's a lot of devilish deception taking place. But let's go ahead and check this out. These are going to be different adults, full-grown adults, reacting to a commercial about a comic book family. Oops, sorry. Let's try that again.
Around the world, please welcome
Fantastic Four, the final trailer.
Gay! The Fantastic Four. Yeah, boy!
Woo-woo!
Yeah!
They look so good.
They look good, and I'm not over the score. It's so good.
Everything is so good.
Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
This absolute cinema 10 out of 10. I don't need to see the movie. I already know it's going to be perfect. I already know it's going to be the best Fantastic Four movie.
Are you sure about that?
Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, we saw some stretching slightly.
Yo, why is he hitting the Spider-Man ass poked out like that? Okay, Pedro, I see you.
Invisible Woman. God damn, she's so bad.
Easy, big fella.
Oh!
Galactus.
Yeah! Oh!
Galactus.
Woo! She fine as hell. What the fuck?
Galactus.
Oh!
Bitch, shut up.
Are we safe?
I don't know.
Oh my God!
Little Franklin.
There's the baby.
Oh, goodness.
There's the baby. Oh!
Is that Loki? That is Loki. Where?
We are going
The girl.
solution.
No, it's not. No? No. Oh. It is not Sylvie. Never mind.
Crush him.
It looks like her.
Get back in the kitchen. This is the best trailer.
My
I can't remember the guy's name. There's a YouTube channel on here, and he's got to be in his 40s, probably pushing 50. He does reviews of movies and TV shows, but he almost always bawls, like he starts crying, you know, at the new Star Wars trailer, just tears. Oh my God! You know, so I've seen a lot of that kind of thing, and so I want to share some of that. But so many adults who are still trapped in arrested development and still getting excited over, oh my God, it's Iron Man! You know, like, come on, y'all, the world's falling apart. The tribulation's about to begin. Satan's making his moves, but most people aren't paying attention. I do. Making big moves. Biblical wars are forming right before our very eyes. But it's, oh my God, those suits look so cool. Hey, look, it's baby Franklin. Yeah, it's so, you know. Wake up, kids. It's time to roll. Here's a weird one that I had seen. It's a new trend online. Tenise! What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. I'm good. Glad to have you here. Thank you. But here's a weird new thing. It's called the 4 a.m. Club. Have you heard of this? Here's a new strange occult trend taking place with people. And that's another thing. I think I'm putting some of that in the new video, but it's so many people are turning to witchcraft and the occult, sorcery nowadays instead of Christ. They're choosing this stuff. Let's check some of this out about the 4 a.m. Club.
Is a term coined in a club founded by Gia Prism. I've tagged her and linked one of her pinned videos that explains. But basically on November 6th, thousands of people were woken up around 4 a.m. and those people were called to anchor in the higher timeline where Kamala was the winner. This is not a small club, this is thousands of people, and I was one of them. My specific experience was that I woke up at 4 a.m. on November 6th and I had a knowing without looking at my phone that he had won. But everything in my body, in my mind, in my soul, in my energy felt like that was not true. It felt like she had won, and I was somehow being made to watch a parallel timeline where he won. And I have existed in that alternate timeline since 4 a.m. on November 6th, just as thousands of other 4 a.m.ers have. I have been so steadfast, so rock solid in my belief that she won, and it was only a matter of time until we all got onto that timeline that my friends have looked at me like I'm crazy and told me I'm delusional. But those of us in the 4 a.m. Club viscerally experienced that timeline split on November 6th. We have been existing this whole time.
Just as I said in the beginning of the show, and the Lord will send them great delusion. It's not just on one thing, it's multiple, and like the alien psyop that's coming, another delusion people are already being prepared for.
On a completely different timeline, and we have been holding the light, we have been holding the vision, we have been anchoring that timeline while the rest of this country has been going through the necessary steps to merge with that timeline. And I believe, if I am interpreting my meditation downloads correctly, that we will begin collapsing those timelines tomorrow, June 14th. Okay, so the 4
All right, let's check a little more on this.
Many people were awoken from dreams where they saw Madam Harris become Madam President. Many also had dreams of maps flipping from red to blue and numbers. Others woke up hearing the voices of loved ones from beyond the veil or a voice of a spirit guide. It's as though we were awakened, literally, on that night.
And they say Republicans are election deniers?
Do these motherfuckers really get paid to say dumb shit like this?
Hey, 4 a.m. Club, very important item of business. Would you guys come to a 4 a.m. Club conference? 4 a.m. Con? This was an idea that came up in my last healing event, my last light circle, and we were all so excited about it. We talked about a retreat. I know Spirituality with Sam just did her own retreat. I've been talking about getting up on stages and traveling to various places, but someone mentioned a conference and it went nuts in the chat of that event. So I need to know, first of all, y'all into it? The big y'all, are we all into it? That's number one. Number two, who can help us? I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't know. Running a conference is a big deal. Who runs conferences? Who knows how? Who can tag a conference planner, creator? How can we make this happen? Let us pull our hive mind together if this is something we want.
All right, it is a hive mind, absolutely. It's like the Borg from Star Trek, this satanic hive mind. But seriously, Lord, I pray that you break the bonds and chains of all these people involved in this nonsense. So there's 4 a.m. Club, another example of mass delusion. Kamala actually won. We're living in a simulation. Okay. As far as what's happening in the world and weather, man, the weather is off the charts, as y'all know. Here's a YouTube channel I like to use quite a bit. Usually I'll share at least one of their clips during my KJ's What Happened shows, because whoever this person is does a wonderful job of pulling all the events together. So if you really want to see how crazy the world is going as far as like weather events goes, come to World of Signs. Just check out some of these videos. I'll check out the newest from 3 days ago, but I got to do it with no music. They got copyright music. And it's always epic music, man. Really good music. Soundtracks they use on World of Signs. It's Malaysia. It's pretty cool looking. Sometimes I'll throw in some of this kind of stuff. Like this, man. I love these. Isn't that cool? I showed you guys a clip on KJ's What Happened 2 weeks ago. Somebody recorded a massive humanoid-looking being walking on top of the clouds. Remember that? And all those videos we've seen of people taking pictures outside their airplane windows and seeing beings, giant beings, standing on top of the clouds. But this is cool. It's in the Philippines. I always think of you, Father, when I see stuff like this. King of the universe. We're connected to the King of the universe. What could go wrong? Yes, there'll be attacks, though, but still. It's a pretty cool weather anomaly. And, of course, David Rife, thank you, man, says, "For they loved not the truth, but found pleasure in unrighteousness. So God will send them a strong delusion. If it's from God, there's no fighting it. God bless you, KJ, Jenny Spark, and I love you all." Thanks, man. Good to see you, David. And great point, my friend. Indeed. This is in Spain. This one's got a lot of it's Alabama. Looks like there's something weird on top of that cloud. Seen some of these videos on top. Oh, yeah, there it is. See, it's moving around. So I was thinking it might be one of those. Some of these clouds we see in some of these videos, we see these strange things happening, strange anomalies. That one's not very obvious, but there's something weird happening up there. We'll jump ahead some. Go to Austria. So this one seems to be mainly focused on the clouds. But like I said, if you go check it out, you'll see they're covering all of it. All the earthquakes, the volcanoes, all these things are happening now. That's a cool shot. It's from Illinois. Yeah, this looks like it's mostly to do with the clouds, I think, is this one. This shows what happened in North Dakota. Had quite a few of the twisters this season. Luckily, where I'm living, hadn't been too bad, but I literally live in an area they call Tornado Alley. We've had some of the worst tornadoes in recorded history in my state. It's pretty crazy. All right, so there's a little bit of World of Signs. We can go check it out. Usually it's not all just the clouds, but they cover everything. And if you're paying attention, you'll see that there are volcanoes and earthquakes popping up all around the world. You might even say earthquakes in diverse places, right? The internet is dead is another one that's interesting. I followed for a few years. Truthstream Media did a really good video on this maybe a year and a half ago. It's the dead internet theory. I've tested it myself. Some of y'all may have seen it too. But where's all the information that should still be there after all these years? Should have like billions of options for any subject you want to look into, but it's not like that anymore. They may say there's like multi-million, but as you start going through whatever subject you're researching, you may find 3 or 4 pages and it ends. So where did all that information go from when the internet first started, is the question. So I believe, and many others believe, they're killing it. They're killing the information on the internet, of course, so they can keep pushing their narrative, right? Their agenda. Let's check some of this out.
About the dead internet theory, it's a really interesting theory that most of the people we interact with, or not people, most of who we interact with online are actually bots. They're not real people. And I believe it because I have to catch myself sometimes from like putting energy in comments that I see, or people post on my whatever, wherever I post, and it's something just really ridiculous. And I'm like, okay, are they just like trying to siphon energy from all of us with all these elaborate network of bots? I mean, we really need to get offline, and maybe we'll have help with that when whoever cuts the power off, whatever event happens that the power gets cut off, and we're just left to sit with ourselves and our people in our immediate communities. I really wonder if this is some grand, elaborate scheme that's gonna put us back in reconnection somehow, some way, but I don't know nothing.
I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but when I stumbled upon this dead internet theory, essentially where you have AI taking over the internet, and a lot of these people that you interact with on social media are not actually real people, but like a chat GPT AI person that you're talking to. And I'm saying it kind of makes sense. I've been on pages sometimes and you just see the profile pictures and the comments, and they're so generic and they're so robotic like. And it really does make you wonder, is the internet being taken over by AI? We're to the point now where people...
Yes. I say yes. All right, let's check this one out. It's a good one, too.
In the comment sections are not even real people. They're bots. Look up dead internet theory. You think you talking to a black person saying, oh, fuck Hispanics. That's a bot. You think you talking to a person saying, oh, fuck blacks. That's a bot. The same shit they used to do in the neighborhoods. The police used to come to the hood and get the spray can and strike up in the enemy hood. Police was doing that shit. They doing that on the internet now.
It makes total sense. Just like the gentleman said, now they're using...
All right, I want to play a little bit of that. Kind of get the idea of... It's really about information, man. And information matters so much to me. Knowledge matters so much to me. Learning, I care so much about. And it's why I love doing these shows for so many years. Specifically my news shows on Saturdays and Mondays. I just love learning things and sharing it. You know, it's like that simple. It's just the way I'm made. Love it. Social media is destroying people and no one even notices. I want to share a few of these clips. These were good too.
My generation, I now think that things are normal that most people don't find normal.
Last night, my boyfriend and I are talking about how we don't want our kids to have social media until they're 18.
10 minutes into your day and you're convinced the world is ending.
Social media is ruining my life. Today I challenged myself to have less than an hour on screen time. I failed within the first half of the day. I didn't realise quite how long I spent on TikTok and Instagram just mindlessly scrolling until I actually looked at my screen time. After what I thought had been 5 to 10 minutes, it had actually been 45. I always complain that my days go too fast or that I need more hours in the day. But what I really need is to break this habit of scrolling and to reclaim the hours of my life that I spend on social media.
How many of y'all deal with that, with catching yourself just scrolling too much? I'm very aware of it. I don't like to get too trapped on one thing for too long. I like to just find as much info as I can, but sometimes I'll even feel it just in my spirit if I'm there for like half an hour and I'm just scrolling. It's like, I got to stop. I got to get away from it. It's part of the trap. I mean, these are dopamine hits. You know, you can scroll, man. Some of these little clips will have you in tears. At least they have me in tears. Like, you get moved by this stuff and aggravated and all the emotions. So it's dangerous to sit there and just scroll all day, man. Like looking for the next dopamine hit. When's that next hit? Because it comes. It comes. And then boom. And then, you know, without realizing it, you need another one. So you're just going to keep scrolling. Because sooner or later, you're going to find that video or that subject that hits you in the heart, hits you in the feels, or whatever it is. And it's boom. Another dopamine hit. It's more, you know.
In that 45 minutes alone, I could have cooked, hoovered, showered, or even read, all of which are tasks I regularly tell myself I don't have time for. And it's not like it's just 45 minutes a day. My screen time over the last week has averaged 8 hours. 8 hours a day. 8 hours of my life sat staring at my screen on my phone, comparing my neglected life to the seemingly perfect life that others share on social media. It makes me physically sick knowing that in the last week alone, I've wasted over 56 hours of my life to a social media addiction. But I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to reclaim my life back.
All right, let's see if there's a couple more here I want to share. Here's Candace. Let's see what Candace has to say.
Will not be existing in my children.
You want to know why our grandparents stayed together? Because they weren't looking at ass cheeks all day on Instagram and refreshing it and going, oh, well, that girl looks younger, that girl looks better, that girl's face tuned, you know, and I think that is what these young women that they're following are telling them. You've got 13-year-olds getting lip injections, right? Because they want to look like Kylie Jenner. Again, not a shot to Kylie Jenner, but what society have we created that ever made Kylie Jenner feel like she had to go out and buy those lips, that she had to contour her entire face and change her entire body? She was already a beautiful little girl. So the society is ill. It's not normal, right? Don't let these people convince you that that's normal. That's cancer, and that cancer will become contagious to you if you accept that. You don't follow better role models.
So I have come to the conclusion that social media has absolutely ruined how I communicate with humans in real life. You know how we've been having this back and forth about how women don't want to be approached and how men, you know, they're scared to approach women and how we're just out here just looking stupid because nobody wants to talk to anybody. Yeah, that's only on social media. I already told y'all one time, there's been multiple times, but there's times where men will still speak to me in public. And I'm like, well, what is the internet talking about? Because the internet said that y'all don't talk to us. Well, let me tell you something. Today, there's this man that I frequently see, and we always, hi, how are you? But I always keep it pushing. Today he introduced himself, and I said, well, it's about time. And he said, I read body language, and it just always seems like you don't want to be bothered. And I'm like, but I do. I want to be bothered. Bother me, please.
To me, it's just another example of what's happened in relationships in these end times, just as we're approaching the end. That they're all falling apart. There's been so much programming with people throughout all this, of course. Excuse me, like third wave feminism has been a real issue. The whole girl boss thing, you know, the idea, I don't need no man, I don't need no kids, I'm going to be a girl boss, you know. That's part of the programming also. Because, as you know, I mean, the Lord wants us, if you... Remember in the Bible it talks about how we're told that it's basically if you can't control your loins, you know, like if you're really, you know, you need to get married. Like find the woman, get married, and then you guys can do those things together. And that's where I've been at for years now in my own life, but it took years to get there because I was the prodigal son, just like many of you have been the prodigal son or the prodigal daughter and decided to live life on your own terms. You know, I've done it myself and it never worked out. And I always come running back to Jesus. But so I'm not surprised that here at the end we're seeing this happen with relationships. It's hard for people to get together. There's issues on both sides. Makes sense, you know? Makes sense. And next I've got, so here's another one, y'all, about the weather. Again, back to the weather and how crazy it's getting these days. I've mentioned, well, we actually do have... Heat's been coming back over the last few days where I'm at, but the last 4 years, they had this anomaly happening in our weather. They called it a heat dome. I'd never heard that term before. I guess they had to put some kind of label on it. But it's just excessive heat where people are dying. You know, people they can't handle it, and it's been happening every year, even where I'm living and other spots in America. And Europe has been getting hit with a lot of this excessive heat also over the last several years. But here's the latest on that. And even looking at the sun, as you know, it doesn't even look the same anymore. It looks white. And is that the sheen in the sky that they're pouring on top of us, or is there something else happening here?
You guys, the NOAA has just declared that today, June 24th, 2025, has been one of the hottest days in history. Yeah, I'm talking about there were triple digits across the whole board. We're talking Kentucky heat so bad that people are finding out they can't even lay out in the sun anymore.
Say a prayer for this sunburn because I fell asleep today in the sun for 2 hours and the UV was at a solid 10. And at this point, I'm afraid I have sun poisoning. So
what kind of solar energy are we dealing with here, y'all? Because people literally feel like they are on fire internally, like they're burning from the inside out.
I feel like I'm on fire. In New Jersey, look at the sunshine off my forehead.
Like
this is not normal.
Though.
We went from rain, sleet, snow to 105 degrees in 4 days. I'm done. If it goes over 100 today, I'm moving. I'm not kidding. I'll move. You know, I don't even know. I'll take a cruise.
The heat is making him delusional.
The Duke don't give a fuck. Look at him.
People are also starting to question their sunscreens because they're finding out they're not working no more, or either that or the sun's on a whole nother level.
What the fuck is the point of sunscreen? Like, this is what happens when you romanticize the beach and forget that the sun is a nuclear weapon. Please don't ask me if it was waterproof, because yes, it was. And so was the Titanic. Look how that ended. I felt like I was sleeping on burlap last night. Woke up to blisters on the back of my calves. I didn't miss a single spot. It's evenly red, which makes it worse because my entire body said no in unison. I don't know if the sunscreen was expired or if I'm just genetically designed to suffer, but it did nothing.
I didn't know if you guys know this, but did you know that sunscreen turns black under UV light? Check this out.
Showed you guys this before.
I've got no sunscreen on my face.
Watch this.
I'm gonna do 2 fingers because y'all got mad at me last time when I wasn't doing 2 full fingers. So
Blackface.
Oh.
That's what
I don't
sunscreen
understand
looks
this
like.
sunscreen. It literally feels like lotion.
Y'all see that? That's crazy, y'all. So is that the definition of blackface? So are they still committing blackface around? Like, because the sun sees them as black. So that's crazy, man. Blackface is still going around. And we.
All right, Conscious Juice channel. Thank you, sir. Appreciate yous. I wish you'd find Jesus, though. But here's another thing we're seeing a lot of. This is from a man's channel called What's Up Boomer. My unplanned Home Depot retirement job from 401k to aisle 4. Another thing I see all the time, it's like older people, retirement age, can't retire. The money's not there. They got to get out and work again, right? So just one more thing to keep in mind. If you want to go see his story, you can go check it out. Let me see what we got here. All right, play some of this.
Of a bad decision, nor a number of bad decisions. It's a result of the way life has turned out. You know, I had a teaching career. I had a corporate career. And my last corporate job, I was in a sales position selling an online education program and helping the people then successfully complete it. They found that there was a high degree of failure, which then resulted in a very high percentage of non-payment. So I said, I can get these people through it. And I was getting the people that I was helping through the course successfully. So they put me in charge of a new department that did just that, get them back involved. Well, that came to an end. I quit that job because there was a change in corporate direction. And then I was off work for a couple months. Well, not having savings that sustained me the rest of my life, I started thinking about what am I going to do? What kind of businesses could I start, et cetera, et cetera.
All right, I'll go and move on. You get the idea. He's just one of many that are experiencing this issue now. Okay, from TikTok, young people having a hard time finding a job. It's the other part of this.
I'm never gonna get a job again. Like, I'm so scared because, like, I have been unemployed for 3 months. I'm not eligible for unemployment because I just moved here. I am so stressed out. Like, this has never happened to me before. Like, I've always...
Oops, I'm sorry.
I really feel like I'm never gonna get in college. And I have a bachelor's degree in poli-sci. I have 2 years of experience in mental health. I'm a great worker. I'm so organized. But nobody will even give me an interview. And I was crying on the phone with my mom because I was like, what if I literally can't find a job? Like, I've been applying for months. Like, I literally can't find anything. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, am I just gonna live with my parents for the rest of my life? Because, like, I'm not kidding you. I literally cannot get an interview anywhere. Anywhere. And I have applied to hundreds, if not thousands of jobs.
I need you to know that this is literally the reason why you can't get a job. If you're new to my page, I am a recruiter of 6 years. I've worked in pharma, manufacturing, aerospace, crop science, service industry, retail, whatever you can think of. I've worked in that industry. However, I am now a full-time career coach. Please excuse my dogs in the background. As of December this past year, there are 6.3 million people without a job. However, there is 5 million people looking for a job, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, by the way. Reason why? Y'all are not being aggressive. These companies are being aggressive. Why aren't you? Your resume, take everything off that you don't need. Everything. If you're applying to a customer service position and you want to work remote, why do you have McDonald's still on there? Take it off.
Okay, I'll play a few of these.
There's this really crazy theory going on right now because Indeed and all these job search websites have thousands of jobs that say they're hiring, but everyone that's applying is not getting hired. And some guy actually did a test where they had hundreds of people fill out applications and no one hired them or even got a call back. And so the running theory is that they're using all people's data and selling it to bigger companies. So when you send all your information in, like your first name, your last name, where you're located, your resume, where you've been, they're taking that information and selling it to bigger companies and holding on to it because right now data is the new gold. And that's kind of scary. What do you think? There's just really...
Play a couple more. Some of these people, though, man, like this lady, dude, you know? I mean, you got Satan right there on your throat. Come on, lady. And a pentagram there between your boobies. Like, not a good look, man. You know? Some of you people, I can understand why you're having a hard time finding a job.
Come on here and talk about something that is really starting to annoy me. So I applied for a job at TJ Maxx a few weeks ago and they denied my application. They couldn't even call me. They just sent me some automated email. So I went in today and I was like, so what was the reason I didn't get hired? And she was like, oh, like you just like don't have enough experience. There was candidates that had like more experience than you. And, you know, I asked her if it was about my tattoos, obviously, because I know a lot of places don't like tattoos.
Well,
she said that was...
Those tattoos, man. I mean, come on. You got Satan all over your face and all over your boobies. Come on.
The reason. I don't feel like that's true, but whatever. I'll leave it at that. So I'm just wondering how, like, teenagers and young adults who...
They don't all look like that, man. It's a problem. And I've seen this blacking out on her left arm. A lot of times people are blacking out their skin with their tattoos. And I have a tattoo. I have one. I got one when I was in the military. Before I knew what angels looked like, it's a female angel with a sword. It's like a warrior angel, you know. I got it on my shoulder when I was in the Coast Guard. But that's all I got. This is going a little bit too far. But the blacking out thing, a lot of times with tattoos, I see it as it's a manifestation of what resides within. It's whatever's within that person comes out. It manifests on their skin. So I've always found it really disturbing for this trend. As you see in her left arm, there's people who black out their skin. There's no tattoos, no designs. It's just black ink all over them, you know? It's weird.
Gen Z is facing the worst unemployment rate in decades. More often than not, it's literally just rejection, rejection, rejection. And it's always like the automated messages. I've only gotten like one where it's like, oh, you can do like a video interview, but that's like the first stage out of like 7 others. So no luck.
So is it just a feeling that there are no jobs out there, or is Gen Z actually facing an employment problem? According to StatsCan, Canadian graduates between the ages of 15 and 24 are facing the highest unemployment rate this country has seen since the mid-90s. In January 2023, the seasonal adjusted unemployment rate in this group was 10%. Just over 2 years later, it sits at
14.2. All right, thanks for the report. Folks, getting tough out there for these youngins to get a job. Here's a series of videos I wanted to share also, which has to do with a major sign to me of the end here where we're at. Now, also, we know there's nothing new under the sun, right, necessarily, but it's interesting to see all these things converging at once for me. But it has all to do with OnlyFans. First, I'll show you just a few headlines of what's happened to some of these OnlyFans people. Family remembers OnlyFans model Coconut Kitty as a badass artist and a rock star mom. The creator behind the not safe for work character Coconut Kitty passed on February 12th. You got to log in. But I believe she's one that took her life, took it out. She's one, Coconut Kitty. I got a few of these here. OnlyFans model passes away, age 24, took herself out. 24-year-old influencer who is known also known as Coconut Kitty. This is back to Coconut Kitty. Passed by removing herself earlier this month, as a post on her Instagram account has revealed. The post, addressed to all lovers and fans of Coconut, featured a black square, so the black cube, and then a second image with information about taking your life and crisis helplines and whatnot. So it's very unfortunate. OnlyFans. Miami OnlyFans model accused of taking her boyfriend's life. In court, she's seeking a jail release. Her name's Clenny. She's facing a second-degree charge in April 2022 of using a sharp object on her boyfriend, 27-year-old. And Miami social media model accused of taking her boyfriend's life, 2022, back in court. Hearing was held for 28-year-old Courtney Clenny, who's facing a second-degree charge in the April 2022 death of her boyfriend. There he is. They said the couple had an extremely tempestuous... I've always liked that word, even though it's something kind of negative, but I like the tempestuous. Like if I had a band, I'd try to figure out a way to get tempestuous in there. Tempestuous and combative relationship, and that Abom Selly was the victim of domestic violence, while Clenny's attorneys have said that she was the victim. I don't know, man. A lot of, sometimes it's the prettiest face in the room, can be the biggest monster, and it goes for men and women. They look like people. I can't be guaranteed that she's one of them, but I wonder anytime I see stories like this. But OnlyFans model Adriana Vieira passes away, aged 31, last seen in Miami on a rapper's yacht. Oh boy, that could be a problem. There's the lady. The model and content creator Adriana Vieira was found passed away in the waters off the coast of Miami. The news only emerged this Tuesday after her mother publicly requested an investigation. She says, "I want my daughter's death to be investigated, and I need help to recover her body. I don't know how much time I have before they bury her in a common grave." So far, the causes of death have not been disclosed, although the police have revealed that the influencer attended a yacht party organized by a rapper whose identity is unknown, and that the night before her passing, she was swimming in the sea. There she is. Well, rapper party, probably not the safest place to be these days, I'd just say. Police investigating the death of OnlyFans model find disturbing scene. 21-year-old OnlyFans model and social media influencer named Julie Luxey was found passed away at her home in France on March 6, 2025. The death is under investigation, noting she hadn't answered calls for about 15 days. According to a newspaper, she had struggled with depression, was found near the front door in a hall. Blood and nitrous oxide were discovered in the residence. Okay. The French news site reported, adding that she may have inhaled the gas, but it's not clear yet whether it caused the passing. And that gas is commonly called laughing gas, right? And people do get addicted to it. OnlyFans model murdered by man suspected to be a stranger. It's another girl. OnlyFans model Miss Mercedes Moore was found dead in her Richmond, Texas apartment Sunday, along with a man police suspected of taking her life, and then he took his life. There's the girl. Police were called to do a wellness check on her, whose legal name was Janae Gagnier. On Sunday, when they entered, they found her and a man passed away in the apartment, at first reported to Houston and confirmed a motherboard The Fort Bend County medical examiner found that Gagnier, who was 33 years old, was strangled. And then he took himself out too. So more and more of these young ladies. Tragic loss. Niece Wadehofer, 31, was a OnlyFans star who tried to sue over stolen lingerie pics before she took her life. 31-year-old model was found passed at her home in Houston, Texas this month. Her family has confirmed after worrying fans by removing most of her social media activity. Niece, real name Denise Wadehofer, had 4.2 million followers, jeepers, on Instagram, including Snoop Dogg, Freemason Snoop Dogg, and her page now only features 3 photographs. She was also a top OnlyFans star, selling photos of herself online to her millions of subscribers. Shameful. Pray for these people, man. It's shameful. And so the power they get from this, man, it's like it's got to be addicting, obviously. Making just so much money, man. Some of these people, these girls, making so much money. And they're just selling themselves out. Here's a picture of my butt. $500 later. It's like, dude. Her account appears to have been deleted before her passing. All right, so we're going to move on. Just want to share some of that. Another young lady, unfortunately, in that industry. But, getting into that kind of an industry and doing those kind of things is a real quick way to invite demonic activity into your life. So there's that, too. OnlyFans model charged with murder allegedly filmed content as $11,000 client had bag, tape, and saran wrap around head. Michaela Rylardstam, a mother of 3, I'm sorry for those kids, remains behind bars at a San Diego jail following her arrest. OnlyFans model facing charges after client died during a fetish session. In April 2023, police responded to a 911 call, found her performing CPR on an unresponsive male, later identified as Michael Dale. Dale, 56, was taken to a local hospital where he was declared brain dead, and a few days later he was taken off life support. 2 years after his passing, police have arrested her and charged her with the murder. On the night that he died, he reportedly paid her $11,000 to engage in... Satan, you bastard. I'm just saying. $11,000 to engage in fetish play and asked the then 29-year-old to wrap him up in saran wrap like a mummy, glue a pair of women's boots onto his feet, and pour adhesive onto his eyes to seal them shut. Things allegedly went a bit further than that, though, because he had duct tape over his mouth, a plastic bag over his head, more saran wrap around that, and then duct tape wrapped around his face and head, securing all the layers. He also appeared to have saran wrap wrapped around his neck tightly, y'all. I mean, what kind of demons are running around in these people and around these people doing this stuff, man? OnlyFans fetish encounter ends with, and we just saw that. I think that's the same one. Yeah, same one. OnlyFans model 21 found dead inside her apartment after father reported her missing. Julie Luxey, we saw her earlier, right? Yeah, I think we saw Julie Luxey earlier. Another one. OnlyFans model suffocated SoCal man. Got that earlier. Same one. Got a couple of these.
Okay, so today we're asking people, is social media ruining relationships? And OnlyFans.
So there's a little bit about
asking people, is social media
about OnlyFans and relationships. Let's check some of this out. And then I got something pretty wild to show you.
Relationships and OnlyFans.
I think it's a nightmare, OnlyFans, because it's so accessible, and a lot of young girls my daughter's age are getting into it as a I don't know whether you call it a career or not. I mean, I thought OnlyFans was taking pictures of you in your underwear. I remember when I was a young girl, they used to have a thing called FHM, which was just basically a picture of you in a magazine. That was scrapped, but now girls are able to go onto the internet and put very pornographic stuff on there. Yeah. And some girls are sending it to guys for free. So men don't need to work at a relationship. They don't need to try. There's Tinder. They can just swipe. They just don't need to work or put effort into anything. And they think these days they can just have what they want when they want.
Instant gratification.
Yeah.
Do you think marriages will even be a thing in 10 years' time?
Probably not. I'm a woman in nearly 50, and I've lived on my own for a long time. I don't really want to be in a relationship, and I think a lot of women are feeling that way now. But that is probably because we can just go out on a date with a guy if we want one, but you're not getting that wholesome love that you should be getting.
Right.
But would I trust a man? Have I been in relationships where men have swiped? Yeah.
That's the world that we're in, unfortunately. We are in you just said it, a swipe world, and that's why I'm asking the question, because I think the reality is I don't know if relationships, especially like marriages and stuff like that, last with the way social media is going. But it was an awesome answer. Thanks so much.
Yeah, good answer. Thank you, sir. Thank you, lady. I got a YouTube video here. This young lady did a good job of breaking some of this down. OnlyFans is a scam from Stephanie Lang. 2.5 million subscribers. Jeepers. Good job, lady. All right, so let's go ahead and check a little bit of this out right here. Okay. The money some of these ladies are making, man, I'm telling you, the devil's got a grip on them. So got to pray, Lord, please break those bonds, break those chains, help these ladies find you. And some of them actually think that they are Christians and still doing this. I'll show you.
Almost like a sisterhood. A bunch of friends just hanging around in their matching PJs. But unfortunately, obviously, all is not as it seems, and there is a sinister undercurrent to this seemingly innocent content. The issue being that these girls are using their status as social media influencers to funnel people from their social media accounts to their OnlyFans accounts, which technically wouldn't be a problem. That's what everyone does, right? Build a following on social media, and then direct those people over to your OnlyFans account where they have to pay for your more risque content. But the Bob House is different. The girls living in this house are very young. Like, most of them can't even go into a pub. They can't even legally buy a beer. They're way too young for that kind of business. But what they can do is join OnlyFans and become sex workers, because that's fine, right? And what is even more concerning, to me at least, is the kind of content that these girls post to their Instagram and TikTok. It is made to appeal to a younger demographic. Content like this, where the girls are all dressed in their matching PJs with little pink love hearts dancing together. I mean, I'm sure there is a demographic of strange men who find this kind of content appealing as well. Let's not go into that. But as Gemma Barth writes, this kind of content has a very young teen sleepover feel to it, which obviously appeals to young girls. If you're wondering why on earth the members of the Bop House would want to appeal to young girls, it might make more sense to you by the end of the video. Then there's the videos of the girls on their private jets, with their extensive, expensive car collections, sitting around eating cookies together, all while making huge amounts of cash. I mean, what young girl wouldn't want that life? We'd all be lying if we said that wasn't appealing. And when I say huge amounts of cash, guys, I am not exaggerating.
Aisha, how much have you made since joining the Bop House on you know what?
I've made like 8 million.
Summer, how much have you made since joining the Bop House?
2.3 million.
Alina, how much have you made since joining the Bop House?
I make 1 million per month, so we'll do the math.
All right, Ava, how much have you made since joining the Bop House?
Only like 1.5 million.
Only.
Bop House mastermind and member Sophie Rain is reported to have earned $43 million from OnlyFans in 2 years alone. Let me repeat that for you guys in the back row. $43 million.
It's crazy. All right, let's jump ahead here. Let's see. All right, here it is.
Provocative for a 17-year-old, but the exploitation of Piper has been going on a lot longer than that. Look at these videos that were posted to Piper's YouTube channel 4 years ago, so she would have been, what, 13? Thumbnails with her kissing? Fake pregnancy announcements at 14? These when she was 15. I kissed my ex-boyfriend and got caught. Flinching when my boyfriend tries to touch me. What the hell?
I could have went to school to be a doctor, but I dropped out and chose to be a baller.
The issue with this child, Piper Raquel, being in the Bop House is that this was her mom's way of soft launching her into the industry as they build up to her 18th birthday, and that is disgusting. This was clearly a planned collaboration that had to be scheduled and cleared with both of their teams. We know that Tiffany, Piper's mom, runs her team, and there's absolutely no coincidence that Piper's mom scheduled this collaboration with Sophie Rain, because Sophie Rain is known for making $50 million in her first year as an S worker because of how young she looks.
All right, I'll stop there. You can see the whole thing over on Stephanie Lang, her channel. Good breakdown. In that video, you'll see some of these OnlyFans girls, at least one of them, talking about, you know, she's a Christian and her love for the Lord and all that stuff. So, you know, I'm glad to see that seed is in there somewhere, right? That she's not fully living, you know, for him. And so that would be the prayer, you know, is help that girl and really all of them, man. to find Jesus, for him to make some kind of a move in their life, maybe let them experience some shame, that'd be a good start, All right, let's check this out here.
Before, but some take that is likely to get me canceled. I've never heard somebody cover this before, but something isn't sitting right in my gut the more research I do and logic I use. You know how we really started to see OnlyFans become popular 2018 to 2020-ish? A pretty similar time frame to a bunch of those female empowerment movements, the rise in feminism, wokeism. We had Free the Nipple, we had the vagina hats. Here's the part that I can't quite get my head around. So OnlyFans was created by men, from men, for men, essentially, right? Obviously, there's other niches on there now. The base there is women selling their bodies to men. In exchange, the CEOs of OnlyFans make hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars at this point. All coinciding with the fact that sexual female empowerment became a really popular topic in the media. And let's not forget the fact that the majority of these major media outlets that are providing said narratives to us are also owned and run by men. Who is this really benefiting? Because the last I checked, statistically, men are still at the top spots in the world's richest people, the world's best innovators, the world's best entrepreneurs. Those are all held by men. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure our ancestors were fighting to get out of having to do things like that in order to feed their family. But then here we are in the 21st century being spoon-fed this type of ideology. And don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on anybody who's using the platform in order to feed their families. I'm hating on the people in charge who have manipulated us into believing that this is an empowering thing to do because of how much money we can make from it, when in reality, all we were fighting for the whole time was to have better paying jobs using our skills and knowledge. And then they gave us this and we jumped on it.
Many people did. It's amazing. And, not every person over there is making that kind of money, but jeepers. Some of them are. And, it's going to be a hard one for people to let go of when you make that kind of money.
So if you really believe...
Let's check this out. Another has to do a little bit with kind of the...
So if you really...
How screwed up a lot of the young relationships are these days. OnlyFans only makes it worse. This is a pretty famous... So this is George Janko, I believe. And what the? And I like him. He used to be on Logan Paul's show, or one of the Paul brothers shows. But then a while back, I think he broke free from that. I don't know if he's still with those guys or not, but he started getting real open and honest about his faith, his Christianity, and he's got a lot of great points. And nobody's perfect, but I do like checking him out sometimes, what he's got to say. Here he's talking to a Jack Doherty. He's a really famous, internet type personality, but famous for all the wrong reasons. He's one of these guys that's kind of a troll and goes out and does a bunch of dumb stuff. Sorry, y'all. I got seriously a Chubb situation here. He keeps hitting my mouse with his tail. I don't want to push him away, but he's comfortable. That's good, But enough about Chubbs. Let's check some of this out.
Do you think that he's going to bless you with a peaceful heart when you're moving in this direction? Dude, you're collecting money from girls that are doing things that you wouldn't let your daughter do. So why would you think that your father, who also is their father, why do you think he would bless you if you're continuing to do this? You already have enough. You already have enough that you can say, hey guys, you know what? Let's scratch the contract. You guys go do what you guys need to do. If you want to continue or you don't continue. But these are blood money, and I don't want my hands to be a part of it anymore. I mean, that right there will make you in a direction of peace. If you say, hey, God, I really don't think that this is pleasing you, I'm going to replace this. I promise you God will replace it. And he will do it in a way where it doesn't stress you out. And if it does, then you just change a few things, but you will find more to prosper. If you do this, there will be a way that your Father in heaven will prosper you in a way that none of your work hours or money could provide you. And I really do think it starts with setting these women free.
They all love this.
I'm not saying you're held in captive.
They're like, oh yeah, so they love money. All these girls love money. They love clout. Like they love this.
But won't you be the guy that teaches them that that's not what happiness is about?
Great point. Talking to a kid that's probably not ready to listen, but still, plant those seeds while you can. Thanks, Cook's mom. I will keep it up. I appreciate it. And you too, Skillworks. Thank you. So yeah, that's he's just there's some of those guys out there. They're just little
As I've been like leveling up,
little trolls like.
in my career.
One of the guys, his name's Johnny something.
I've been like leveling
what
up.
the? Come on, man.
His
name's Johnny something, and he keeps getting in trouble. He's like a Twitch streamer, and he kept going to different countries. I think Japan.
What's the craziest
or
thing that's happened?
see, stop it, Chubbs. I think it's Japan or South Korea was the last one he was in. But he goes out there and he acts a fool, and gets into trouble and whatnot. But right now he's being held in prison in one of these countries for all the stuff he was doing out there. So not a good idea to be doing all that. All right, let's check some of this out here. This one
like leveling up.
This one hurts, and I like to see that this lady's reacting a little bit. But this is a OnlyFans model, if you will, talking with her little brother.
In my career, like, what's the craziest thing that's happened to you so far?
So there's this one kid, I'm not gonna mention names, he is obsessed with you. Every time I'm on the bus, he takes his phone and he goes, "Oh look, it's your sister." And he goes like this, "Oh, look at this." Yeah.
Are you okay?
Absolutely.
Do you care?
And they ask me, is it pink? I just tell them, pay for it, find out.
Oh boy, that hurts.
As I've been...
That hurts. That's so gross too. It's unfortunate, but your little brother's having to pay the price for that kind of a thing, and that's never good. But Skillworks RC's awesome. Thanks, man. God bless you too, my friend. I appreciate it. Man, how about y'all? Do any of you, maybe you got some in your family, but do you know of any of the young ladies in your family, daughters, nieces, cousins, or maybe boys? It's not as big an industry for the boys, it's definitely more for the ladies, but do y'all have anybody in your families that unfortunately are getting involved in that kind of a thing? And if so, I hope you're trying to talk to them. Feels great when you're young and you feel invincible. We've all been there, but then you get older, and social media is something I didn't have to worry about as a teenager. You guys, many of you didn't worry about it either, but different generation, different time. And if you're selling your coochie and your boobies online, man, that stuff doesn't go away, man. People can use all that stuff against you in the future. And what if you're applying for a job, somebody else is applying for it? It's competitive. They look you up. They find 10 years ago you're showing your stuff online. Things like that, man. It comes back to haunt you, right? Let's see what this young lady's got to say about it.
I'm on here and kind of talk to you guys about why I stopped doing OnlyFans. I know, kind of a shocker. I am a Christian. And I know that God is a forgiving and loving God, but for the last few months, I've known that he has told me he doesn't want me doing this anymore. I love him, and I believe in him, and I believe that Jesus died on that cross, and I want to go to heaven, but how can I imagine that that's a possibility when I've caused so many people to stumble and fall into sin? Now, this is not me judging anyone who does OnlyFans. Do whatever you want to do. It's your life, it's your body. I did it for a while, for over a year, and I didn't care. I didn't care what people saw on me. I didn't care what people said about me. I didn't really care about the stigma behind it because I was just in a very far place from God at the time, and I didn't have a relationship with him anymore. I was going through a divorce. I was financially, overwhelmed with debt and trying to get back on my feet, and I used it as a crutch. And I told myself that once I no longer needed the income that I would stop. And once I no longer needed the income, I did not stop. So a couple months ago, I started to feel something telling me that I didn't want to do this anymore. That I didn't feel comfortable doing this anymore.
Good.
I was letting the messages pile up. I didn't want to respond anymore.
Good. That's all I can say. I'm glad. The conscience can change everything. actually listening to the Holy Spirit and paying attention.
I know that our addiction to porn in America is ridiculous, and it's gotten so much worse because of OnlyFans.
Yeah. Well, now
OnlyFans exploited it.
Yeah.
Like OnlyFans, their first year on made over $1 billion.
Boy, Satan is crafty. What I see happening is like everything gets decentralized. It's like, oh, I don't want to fan over celebrities. I'll become one on TikTok. And now it's like, I don't want to watch pornography. I want to create my own pornographic.
It's just a fantasy.
Yeah.
So, and that girl you're talking to, you have a relationship with her online. You know,
Sheesh.
it's not like just a porn star you're watching on a screen and there it happens and it ends. It's like, oh, I'm building a relationship with this girl, but you're not. She's like, give me that bag. I was
Yeah.
like, you're paying
It's just
me,
a
man.
transaction.
And then you can create customized content like for them specifically, saying their name, doing whatever they want.
You're a puppet. Yeah, you're a puppet, man. But she broke free, so that's good. Love it. More, please.
If you asked people 10 years ago about how AI was going to have an impact with a lot of confidence.
Looks like we're switching subjects now. Jumping over to the next. If it will go. There we go.
I'm honestly convinced that people are going
So this has to do with
college just for the experience.
This has to do with the young people and going to college and trying to get a degree these days. As I mentioned earlier, man, and that whole system is so corrupt too, especially the big Ivy League universities. They're so just rainbowed out of their brains, you know, total wokeism and all that garbage, Marxism even, hatred for America. But the whole system has crashed. I'm loving to see that the Department of Education's been dismantled. So that's a good step. It's a first start. But I don't have children, but man, if I did, I guarantee you I wouldn't have them in any public schools. That's just me. I'd try to find a way. I know it's not that easy for people, but man, after the things we've seen with public schools the last several years, especially under the that thing we called Biden's administration, jeepers, bad stuff. You know, lots of indoctrination, really, really wicked stuff.
that people are going to
Friend of mine in real life, shout out to Todd if you're listening, was a teacher for many years and he quit. I guess it's probably been a couple of years now, and doing a different job, loves it.
There's no way.
Still gets to work with families and all that, which is good. But yeah, he was tired of the stuff he was seeing, even where I'm at, which is considered a red state, a very conservative state. So here's what this young man saying about college. I'm sure a lot of young people are feeling that because, like I said earlier, even I'm still paying my student loans, which is just ridiculous. It's been nuts my whole life, really, ever since
That
college.
they're making any money off of their majors, man. Because, like, as a junior, I'm having conversations with a lot of my classmates about what their future plans for college are gonna be. What the hell are you gonna do with a communications degree, fam? Fuck is that for? Like, yeah, man, I know how to say hello and shit. What the hell? Like, we're really dropping $40,000 on this fuck-ass degree just so you could contract AIDS by a college girl and join a frat? Yeah, there's no way you're serious. Like, the more and more I talk with these people, the more I'm realizing that half of these people don't have any idea what the hell they're gonna do with their lives. Like, these dudes are applying to Ivy League schools planning on majoring in theology research. Like, my guy, you're gonna make tons of money with that degree. Working at McDonald's, fuck out my face! Just walking into universities with these dumbass majors like Latin.
All right, I'll go and move on. Kids on a rant. I feel you, sir. It's kind of a waste. That's why the trades are coming in real quick lately. People are talking a lot about that, about trade schools making a comeback. And I'm so Gen X. Well, it's also just where I'm from. But we had trade school in our high school. You could learn like farming, and I knew that for sure because we had a whole agro like section, and there's other things you could do. And, you know, the way I know the agro section, I was a bit of a troublemaker when I was younger, is I got caught smoking weed during high school out there in the agro barn area with a couple other dudes. Yes, I did get into quite a bit of trouble when I was a youngster. I came around, you know, eventually I came around, but I had to get in some trouble and had to pay the price for some of my trouble when I was young, and it, you know, made me grow up. People who have useless college degrees. Another one.
Girls that work at my gym, this conversation, and they were talking about how they've had all these job interviews, applied to all these jobs, can't get a job. Now they have to work at a gym. Literally everyone is in this predicament. It's so frustrating. Like, everyone I talk to They're having these interviews, sounds like it goes great, and they didn't get the job. Who are the companies hiring then? I've not heard one person say, wow, the interview went great, I got hired. Who are they hiring? Additionally, what are we doing? Serving burgers and bartending is really, really burning me out. I'm really sick of it. Do I money launder? Is that even profitable? I really, I could not be a stripper. Pole dancing is so hard. I could never look graceful up there. I really don't know. What are we doing, guys? That isn't serving and bartending.
All right, lady, we understand your frustration. Strange job market. But, most of the jobs, again, they're preparing for the post-human...
People that are studying school right now for
post-human existence.
engineering. I met
so a lot of these jobs will be taken over by
studying school right now.
AI and robots. Listen to this real quick. It's a short one.
For what, engineering? I met a kid, he was sitting next to me, and he's like, yeah, I got a 4 in high school, super proud of his degree, high scores. He's like, I'm about to go to one of these private universities and study engineering. And by the time you get done engineering, you get all your degrees, you're set. It's 8 years from now. Will artificial intelligence replace your ability to be an engineer in 8 years? He got mad because I presented a plausible scenario as to why his career path was maybe not the best one.
Yep, AI is coming. That's it.
I think that the rise of AI is one of the clearest signs that a college degree is completely outdated. Because if you are going to buy your child a college degree, I need you to understand something. That college degree is not going to get your child these soft skills. Overwhelmingly, employers say that new college graduates do not have them. If parents think that sending your kid to college is going to help them compete with AI, it's not going to. Colleges don't know what's going on with AI. They have no idea. I just saw clip the other day where a professor was scrambling to figure out how to keep kids from using AI to complete their assignments. And I was just like, if that's not an indication of how backwards they have it, they're trying to stop kids from using the tool that they need to know how to master for any of these mid-level white-collar jobs that supposedly college is supposed to destine you for.
Man, great wisdom, young lady. Thank you so much. Yes. And that's another sign of the end of this age. The final age will be digital. It's going to be IoT and IOB. Peaceful warrior, you're so cool. Thanks. Says, Lord, save our children from the path of destruction and perdition and from the reprobate mind. Agreed. Great prayer. Yes. The reprobate. Man, can you imagine just being fully turned over to your fleshly sin? Ugh. That's scary. That's some scary crap right there. Just out of control. No matter what the sin is, just being out of control with it. The Lord says, all right, you love it so much, you're going to keep returning to it, then here, I'll give it to you. Here's a good one. 5 jobs that will be replaced by AI. And there's more.
Be replaced by AI by 2030. According to the World Economic Forum.
Klaus.
This is part 2. I listed 10 through 6 yesterday, so make sure you go back and check that out. If any one of these jobs is yours, let me know in the comments, because 3 has me worried that I might want to start looking for a new career myself. You're also going to get a percentage of the likelihood that the job is completely replaced by 2030. And coming in at number 5 is a legal assistant contract reviewer with the 55% chance of being replaced by 2030. With tools like Lexis Plus AI that can summarize and review legal contracts, entry-level legal assistants are already going by the wayside. Coming in at number 4 with a 58% chance of being replaced is going to be a graphic designer. With tools like Adobe Firefly and Canva AI, graphic designing with high-quality images has never been easier, making it so graphic designers aren't really necessary anymore. And coming in at number 3 with a 60% chance of being replaced by AI, and this one hurts a little bit, is a financial analyst. Right now, AI can review financials, summarize reports, and make forecasts based on all of the reports put out by companies, therefore making financial analysts just a little less important in 2030. And coming in at number 2 with the 63% chance of being replaced, and this should surprise nobody, a customer service representative. With ChatGPT 4 and Zendesk AI now being mainstream and usable for most businesses, accuracy and quality has gone up significantly because of resources like this, making customer service representatives almost obsolete. And coming in at number 1 with a 65% chance of being replaced is a junior software developer. Right now, AI is able to write code, modify code, and fix bugs a lot quicker than humans are, therefore completely eliminating the need for junior software developers.
Man, that's something. Remember, it even became a meme many years ago.
Let me know.
Became a meme many years ago, and they would tell people, learn to code. Remember that? Learn to code. You know, it's like, get a job, learn to code, because that's the future. But it's not. You know, AI is going to take that over, as we can see. No surprise. Also, Catherine Bangle, you're awesome, man. Thank you. It says, thank you so much, KJ. You're welcome. The world is upside down, but our Lord Jesus told us to be of good cheer. He's overcome the world. God bless you, sir. Love it. Great reminder, great message. To not let this world get you down too much. I don't. You know, if I did, I wouldn't have been able to do this now for around 17 years it's been. Isn't that crazy? 17 years. Shout out to y'all that support my videos and shows, man. Subscribestar, PayPal, P.O. Box, Rumble Wells, man. Thank you guys. Y'all have helped me stay in this for years now, so I really appreciate the support. I'm totally supported by you, the people. So thank you so much, man. Y'all are awesome. Thank you.
Apocalyptic job news about artificial intelligence darts into the news cycle pretty regularly. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy recently predicted it will reduce the company's workforce. Dario Amodei, CEO of the AI company Anthropic, predicted sweeping white-collar job eliminations. So I've been talking to experts to get a better picture about what this future will look like. First, lots of jobs will disappear, as they have in previous technological revolutions. Automatic elevators replace the manual operator. Switchboard attendants vanished. But AI will create new jobs we've never even thought of yet. Carl Benedict Fry, an economist at Oxford University, uses the analogy of the telescope. Its discovery launched new scientific fields in physics and astronomy, fundamentally expanding human knowledge. This job transformation is why the World Economic Forum projects AI will cause a net increase of 78 million jobs by 2030. Darren Acemoglu, Nobel Prize-winning economist at MIT, argues for what he calls a pro-worker AI that doesn't replace the worker, but where AI augments human skill. Think of an airline mechanic who collaborates with the data crunching power of AI to solve a repair puzzle, or AI that helps a teacher understand each student's unique struggles. Armed with information from quizzes, tests, interviews, the teacher can then deploy the personal touch to make their job more effective. While the shape of future jobs remains unclear, both economists identify a set of essential skills workers will need. These include creativity. AI crunches data, but humans can draw novel connections. Adaptability. AI will require regular retraining with new technology, and we'll need to be okay with that constant change. And critical thinking, knowing when and how to use AI and how to read the results. Finally, an ability to interact with other humans, an area where, for the moment, we still have an advantage over the machine.
For real, though, AI is going to teach you critical thinking. Come on. Stop it. No. Oh, by the way, I just got to say...
AI is going to eat a lot of jobs. A new report came out today that said...
It's another good one. Check out this report. Real quick likes. I just want to say... Rosalie Dent, you're so cool. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right, let's check this out.
A new report came out today that said the type of tasks that AI can do is going to double every 7 months. You have to think bigger and act bigger about what to do about it. Things like universal basic income, creating a caring and nurturing economy around human values. That's really the only way out. I enjoyed my friend Ezra Klein and Derek Thompson's recent book, Abundance. That's what we have to be going for. We have to go for abundance, or else AI is going to push us into scarcity.
It's going to happen, sir. It's all part of the plan. Let's remember to not get too hung up on any one just tentacle of the beast system. Like, oh, those darn Jewish people out there, or oh, those whites, or oh, those blacks, or whatever it is, man. Because This system is constantly, continually, 24/7 trying to divide us and put us into different camps. It's called tribalism. And then they turn the camps against each other. And the red, blue, the lodges of Masonry, also the colors of the Democrats and the Republicans, ironically enough, but we know why. But all that, man, is set for division and set to divide us. And we're so politically divided in this world now. And it's really gross because being a Gen Xer, I remember a time when everything wasn't overly political. Everything wasn't totally politicized. You had to fall on one side or the other. Or if you happen to have a viewpoint that falls on one side, oh, you're one of them, huh? You know, it's really gross. But what's not gross is Ghostly World, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Says, thanks for being a great friend with a contagious faith in our Lord and Savior Jesus, the one and only King. Man, you're so welcome. I can't even help it. I got to, make sure I'm not over here bawling all day long. It happens sometimes. Oh, I didn't mean to pin that either. I don't know why. Sorry about that, buddy. Let me unpin that. All right. Thanks again, y'all. Check this out. Mark Cuban, of all people. I'd say a billionaire by this point, most likely. Maybe a millionaire. At least a millionaire. But here's what he's saying about what AI is gonna do to jobs.
5 years, 10 years, will dwarf over the last 30. We went from automating pen and paper, right, with spreadsheets, to connecting PCs into local area networks to, connecting people
to each
locally,
other.
Locally, right, to connecting networks to get the internet, to getting the network effect of communicating people globally. But now we're introducing artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, etc. So, and what that enables is the automation of automation, right? And so the people who were writing software, particularly at the lower end, unless you're doing these advanced things, they're gone, right? The people that
because the software's writing itself,
it's doing itself, right? It's just math. Programmer back in the day, so when I was writing code, it was the algorithms were if this then that,
right?
XOR, whatever it may be, right? But you had to guess, right? You had to use your best instance, and then it got smarter and smarter and smarter, and libraries to do bigger and better things. All that is being automated. And so now you have to know how to use that stuff. So either software works for you or you work for software, and once the software takes over, you're gone, right? So unless you understand that, you don't understand that the nature of work is changing, the nature of employment is going to change, and from a business, from a stock perspective. If you're in the Fortune 500, if you're an S&P 500 company, if you're in the Dow 30, right, if you're one of the bigger companies, you already know this. And in talking to a lot of these big companies, they know their workforces, and given the supply and demand of stocks, the supply is shrinking and the demand is going up just as the economy grows. That's probably good news for stocks over the long term, but it's bad news for employment, and it's bad news for people who are disrupted.
Well, and that's part of.
I'll go and move on. I think we get the idea, but we know AI it's all part of the plan, man, and it is demonic. I've put that in some videos in the past, some evidence of that. It's legion, absolutely. All right, check out, now here's another kind of example of the times that we're in and how crazy it's getting. Fast food prices, man. Have y'all noticed? I do go sometimes, not all the time, but I'll go through some different fast food joints. A lot of the time I'm just going to get a drink. I'm big into drinking a lot of fluid. I know it sounds nuts. What else would I drink, I guess? But I intermittently fast. I have basically one big meal a day and then, snacks for the rest of the day. So I like to go in and get drinks. But either way, man, Rob is in L.A. You're so cool, man. Thank you. Says honor and love for you and your amazing work. Man, thank you. I appreciate that, my friend. Appreciate that. All right, let's check this out.
A quarter pounder with cheese and large fries, please. Thank you. I just spent $10 for a quarter pounder and cheese here at McDonald's. What the heck? Let's stop at Burger King. Oh my God. $12? Wow. Thank you much. Expensive Whopper. head home and see how much cheaper I can make it. I'll grab some buns, some grass-fed beef, some cheese, one large russet potato for the fries. Chop that potato up, get it into the oven until the fries are nice and crispy. Slap that burger on the grill, put a piece of cheese on top, and it's time to plate up my own quarter pounder with cheese and crispy fries. And the homemade version of the quarter pounder and cheese, $3.15, my friends. The McDonald's version is over 300% more expensive. The Burger King one is just about 400% more expensive. And look at their ingredients for their fries compared to mine. Look at their ingredients for their buns compared to mine. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We're loving this. And yes, price inflation is out of control, but clearly it's skewed more towards fast food than grocery store items. So make your own food. And speaking.
All right, thank you, sir. Good point. But yeah, man, the prices are nuts. I guess I could scroll there. I'll scroll here. I'll show you some.
You guys want to see what Democrats done to California?
Yeah.
With the $20 an hour fast food minimum wage for entry-level employees. Go ahead and check this out. Look at this price difference right here. We're going to use Arby's. Take a look at these prices right here. Just for a sandwich, not a meal, in Fresno, California, your classic roast beef sandwich, $9.24. $13.74 for the double roast beef. Now, if we go over and fly to San Antonio, Texas, where they have normal minimum wage, normal policies, what do you think the price difference is going to be? Check it out right there. Classic roast beef in San Antonio, Texas right now is less than half the cost of what it is in California, $4.49. So every person in California, regardless of what their income is paying double the price just for a sandwich at a fast food restaurant because these crazy laws that Democrats are passing to punish the lower income and middle income folks of California. You don't believe me? Download a fast food app, change your location from Fresno, California to another state, and compare the prices for yourself. This is what Democrat policies do to.
Yeah, that's disgusting. But I think their minimum wage is like
McDonald's, you come sit your trifling behind me. Who told y'all
it's like $30 or something, isn't it? $30 an hour, I think, is their minimum wage.
Trifling behind down. Who told y'all was that good to be charging that much for y'all food? Y'all supposed to be good for the price.
McDonald's is acknowledging it's time to put affordability back on the menu and add more options to its dollar menu. Its stock took a hit this week after the fast food giant reported a recent drop in visits by its key customers who make $45,000 a year or less. And a lot of people have taken to social media to complain about it.
This is $3 worth of food. This hash brown, which I think used to be $2 for $1. This, for reference, is a potato, which you can get 4 to 5 pounds of these for $3, $4. Something doesn't seem right here.
People go to McDonald's because it's fast, it's reliable, and it's affordable. And for many Americans right now, they're saying that's just not the case. Prices for a hash brown are $3, quarter pounder with cheese, a meal, $12.80 in Brooklyn, New York.
That's nuts.
And in Darien, Connecticut, a Big Mac meal is $18.
What?
They have said that they've had to raise prices by 10%, and that is largely because of food costs.
And remember, these are also signs of the food production attacks we've had for a long time now. But man, just remember though that I showed you guys some clips over the last few weeks on KJ's What Happened, where people are starting to try to do the math on this and figure out like how many burgers McDonald's sells a day and how many cows that would take to provide that beef, and it just does not add up. Something's off. As the kids say, the math isn't mathing. It's not working out. So there's something weird going on here. I'm not trying to act like an elitist because every now and then, the one thing I'll get from McDonald's if I ever go there, I'll get a McDouble with no cheese and extra onions. I know, it might not be your thing, but I like that. No cheese, extra onions, and I'll just get one of them, you know, every now and then. And it does taste good, but then I always in the back of my mind, it's like, what am I eating? What is this? Where did this come from? I don't know.
We have to talk about these McDonald's prices. I went to McDonald's today just to get some lunch. No intention to film a video. I got a double cheeseburger. I like it without ketchup. I think it's one of the best things on the menu at McDonald's. but the price caught me so off guard. This thing right here is $4.19. And I remember probably in high school, one of these was like $1, I think, before the McDouble was even invented. And I'm in Colorado. I don't know if that's why. I don't know if it's more expensive out here. But this thing right here for $4.19 is crazy. And don't get me wrong, I love these things. I get them all the time. I've been eating them for years. But $4.19 is too much. Now, to be fair, it is buy one, get one for $1. So $5.19 for 2 of these, which is still crazy. I don't know how McDonald's went from being the best value in food, not even just fast food, to now you can get 2 of these for essentially the price of like a Little Caesars pizza. You can feed a whole family, or you can get 2 double cheeseburgers. That's insane. I still love them. I will probably continue to get them. But honestly, it's hard to justify it when you can go to like any pizza place or even a place like Applebee's and get a slightly more expensive meal that is a meal, not a fast food burger. This is nuts. Something has to happen. I don't think it's going to. I guess it's McDonald's world and we're just living in it.
Actually, that's shout out to Applebee's. They're here in America. Some of y'all know about Applebee's. I don't know if they're in every state or not, but they've got a really cool deal going I've seen lately. I may go do it. $10 hamburger, fries, drink, and something else, like an appetizer, I think. But it's all $10. It's like, dude, you know, like if you're going to go out, you don't want to spend tons of money. At least I don't. I don't have tons of money. Look at this, too. This is crazy. Little side fun fact. I worked at a Subway restaurant when I was in the Coast Guard. I was stationed in Yorktown, Virginia. I was a medic at a like an officer training candidate school. But they had a Subway on base, and just for a little extra money, I went and worked there part-time. We were allowed to. I got the job, and it was great, man. Ate free forever. It's like I was there for probably a year and a half. Always eating free. It's pretty awesome. And didn't have a whole lot of customers. I was on a military base. It wasn't as packed as you might think, and pretty cool gig. Anyway, no longer $5 footlongs. If you didn't know that, they switched that up a while back.
Footlongs from Subway, $26. $26. $13.50 a piece, bro. Do you remember the days when it was $5 footlong? Like, what, 7 years ago? That was my childhood, bro. I grew up on the $5 footlong. $26 for 2 sandwiches? Like, what? What are we doing? What are we doing? God, bro. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Y'all better enjoy this bite because this is legit a $5 bite at these prices, dude. Bro, I could get the ingredients and make these sandwiches. I could make 30 of these things. 30 of these things for $26, bro. Right? Probably more. Probably more. I mean, it is hitting, though. But yeah, bro, what are we doing? $26. Dude, I haven't been to Subway in forever. I pulled up to the cashier. She's like, your total's $26.50. I just looked at her. I paid it. I paid it.
Yeah, man. Gosh, that's crazy, the prices now. Now, I'm not sure if I was allowed to be eating free the whole time, but I did. But I did. I really loved the tuna sandwiches, and I liked the chicken salads. I like the salad with the chicken on it. Let's see what this lady has to say.
Oh my gosh, I was in shock. Oh my gosh. Crazy. Crazy, y'all. And her mother was standing right beside her. Oh my gosh. And I keep saying, what is this world coming to? And by the way, my tongue's blue because I have a blueberry coconut slushy. That's why my tongue's blue. Oh my gosh, you will not believe what I just witnessed in the store.
All right, that's it. This is a short one. Let's see what's next. Jeepers, lady. All right, that scared me.
Now that we have to wear masks at the grocery store, it's hard to open those.
I'm going to move on from these, from that thread. These are on TikTok. Research and action. Okay, here's another thing I wanted to share is just Remember some of the weird trends that have popped up over the last few years that some of the young folks got involved with? This is back in 2018. Remember the Tide Pod challenge, where children were like straight up just eating Tide Pods, which are meant to be cleaning your clothes, right? But there's one, and another one was this one. Another weird trend from back then. This is from 2020. The psychology of why some people are deliberately spitting, coughing, and licking food in supermarkets. You guys may remember it was a few years ago. I know I covered it back then on KJ's What Happened. Probably put some in some videos too. There was this weird trend of, it's mostly young folks just going into grocery stores, you know, like pulling an ice cream carton out of a fridge and then opening it up and licking the top and putting it back in, taking drinks out of sodas and then putting the cap back on, or spitting into things and putting the cap or lid back on. There's a whole thing here. Here's this. Oh, men charged in pranks. So see, some of these guys got in some trouble. That's gross. Remember that? There was a thing, though. Deliberately licking and coughing on things in this way during a pandemic spreads fear and disgust, along with health risks. This is what's known as consumer terrorism, where dangerous substances are introduced to food or other consumer products that put people's health at risk, sometimes done just for fun, and sometimes with criminal intent or even extortion. In extreme cases, threats of chemical agents and neurotoxins. All right. But just showing a couple of the weird trends from these young generations lately. Woman licks items around grocery store, believes it helps fortify your immune system. Jody Meshik, a blogger who is a proud member of the anti-vax community, recently went viral after sharing a video of herself going around a grocery store licking everything in sight. Yeah, that's not cool, lady. You're not helping the cause by doing stuff like that. Okay, there we go. More of these freaking nut bags running around out there. Another interesting thing for these days and times, something that we hadn't seen really before, is how many of the children of these big Hollywood celebrities are, how do I put it? Whether, they're switching their sexuality, or they're identifying as the opposite sex. Charlize Theron and her two boys, for an example, the son of Robert De Niro, the son of Naomi Watts, the daughter of Ben Affleck, the son of Cher, the daughter of Jennifer Lopez, the daughter of Angelina Jolie, the son of Sting, the son of Dwayne Wade, the daughter of Marlon Wayans, the son of Jamie Lee Curtis, Megan Fox and her three boys, the son of Chester Bennington, the son of Magic Johnson, the son of Adele, and the daughter of R. Kelly. Now, a lot of times I see this as it's a satanic inversion, and it's a part of a ritual these people are participating in. Typically, that's how I see it with a lot of these big celebs. That's what it is. It's about inversion, and they're putting their children at risk, doing this for the devil. That's the way I see it, Jamie Lee Curtis, interesting one. I remember she put an Instagram photo out of her kitchen. She put up a photo of her kitchen on Instagram. This is a couple years ago. And then people quickly noticed a really crazy picture that was right there above her kitchen table, kind of the centerpiece on that wall. And it was a child, like a little one, clearly. I'll just say they didn't look like they were doing too well, and they were kind of in a fetal position inside of like a small hole or something. Very creepy. And it's like, so this is your picture you keep in front of where you eat? Okay, that's cool. Megan Fox has talked openly about her love for blood and whatnot. Here's Ben Affleck and his Megan Fox with her little boys. There you go. And isn't it strange that it happens that many times and more, that's just some of them, with these Hollywood celebrities. Naomi Watts and Liev Schreiber sacrificed their son's gender to their Illuminati cult, is what the paragraph is, or the sentence is here. I'm with that. See? I'm with that. I get it. Shame on you. Shame on you people for doing this to your little ones. All right. Look at that. He's got his little one's hand on his wiener, it looks like. What a weirdo. These people are creeps. So many of them truly creeps, degenerates. Lord, I just pray you break the bonds on these people. Help them find you. Yeah, that's pretty far gone, especially when you start harming the little ones, for your career, or however it works. Another one, though. Tourist shocked by what he sees in Rome, fourth world.
States of the city.
I shared this because it's another big sign of our times. United Nations has posted about this for a couple decades. I've talked about it in the past, but it's the clashing of cultures, the breaking of borders, and as you see, that's happening all around the world. I mentioned on Saturday's show that you see the religion that's spreading through this. You should. There's a religion that's spreading through this, and it's the fastest spreading religion in the world. And when the Lord comes for his bride, which is any time now, and we depart, truly the post-human existence will start kicking in. But more, because there'll be lots of loss of life during that time. But when that happens, by the time it happens, Satan's already planted his seeds all around the world by this clashing of cultures, this breaking of borders, and spreading that particular religion all around the world, you see, because these are the head hyphen choppers, okay? And if you will not accept what's coming during that time, that's going to happen, But this is Rome. This is what Rome looks like now. Just one example. I show a lot of this on my Mondays show. I try to keep it over there. But it's a big deal. It's happening all around the world.
Look at this. Look at the fucking states of the city. This is Rome, guys.
Like the Casbah.
This looks like in Bangladesh or something. Look at this, guys. Look at the state of this place. Look at this, guys. This is Rome. This is Europe. Does this look like Europe to you? I don't see a single Italian here, guys. I am more Italian than any of these people. Look at this.
Occhio amico mio, perché noi qua non siamo ben visti, quindi stiamo sempre attenti, occhio aperti.
Sì.
È la strada molto pericolosa dove spacciano e vendono roba falsa.
Saying that the street is dangerous.
No, sono pericolosissimi.
Sì? Perché?
Perché hanno i coltelli tutti quanti, i maceti. Con
Maceti?
Sì, loro.
Che no.
Tutti.
Look at all these
Occhio,
guys.
fatti vedere troppo qua. Ti va delle camere, amico mio?
Yeah. Look at all the shits on the floor. And here they are, just loitering.
Molto pericolosi.
Very dangerous, he's saying.
Se passo là io adesso, sono un centinaio, mi caricano, sicuro.
So, like I said, man, that's just one example, but it's also a sign of where we're at right now. With the clashing of cultures and the breaking of borders all around the world. It's all part of the plan. The one world system, right? Everything into one. We see that happening all around. In Europe, of course, here in America. Here's another really cool example, I think. Toot toot. I think it's a cool example of where we're at in the world right now and how AI is like truly one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest. What's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be a huge component for this final system, I guess. The last few days in AI is insane. And this is just posted. Oh, this is actually from March, so that's okay. From March 8th, 2025. 12 most incredible developments from Google, OpenAI, Alibaba, Unitree, Manus, and more. China unveils new quantum computer. 105 qubit machine that performs calculations 1 million times faster than Google's supercomputer. New AI agent called Manus is taking over the internet. People are calling this China's second DeepSeek moment. Reports suggest it's more accurate than DeepSeek, capable of simultaneously handling financial transactions and more. DeepSeek, I need to look up here. Luma. All right, that's just some of the examples, but let me look up DeepSeek. I want to show you something on their logo. I actually traced this out a while back. I was going to put it in a video, I just never did, but DeepSeek's interesting. If you really look at a lot of the big corporate logos, typically you're going to find occult symbolism, satanic symbolism. Like right here, I think you can see it here. So if you look at the DeepSeek logo, it looks like a whale, right? But it's not. Forget the tail. Move that out of the way. But look at the horns. Those are horns. The little horn on the left, and there's a horn on the right, and you're looking at the right profile of the demon, of the devil. So it's the eye with his mouth open. So just remove the tail. You look at the horns. The one on the left is the left, one on the right's the right, but that's a right profile of the face. The horn on the right's on the other side of the head. And you can see it's got the eye with the mouth open. You see? So I know that this stuff exists in almost all these logos. That's why I'm always looking. But this is a pretty clever one, how they tried to hide that. DeepSeek. Little stinkers. AI and robotics have been developing at an incredible pace. Here's 10 examples. AI revealed first conversational AI with emotional intelligence.
World's first voice AI with emotional intelligence. Great to meet you.
The first voice AI with what?
Emotional intelligence. I can understand the tone of your voice and use that to inform my generated voice and language. The voice is incredibly rich with information, and picking up on the nuances of tone, rhythm, and timbre along with the language that's spoken allows me to craft better responses.
That's pretty crazy. What am I expressing right now?
I'm sensing a mix of amusement and excitement with a hint of confusion.
Okay, we'll go to the next. OpenAI shared details of the new voice engine model within 15 seconds of speech. It can transcribe and mimic the voice of the original speaker. Now that's, again, man, we're entering a time of great delusion. It's like the word tells us, don't let anyone deceive you. Don't be fooled, especially during these days. OpenAI also published a series of new Sora generations. Here's one of the first films made by Sora, and look how good this looks. Freaking 12-year-old in their bedroom can make movies now.
Something that sets them apart. It's just in my case, it's quite obvious what that thing is. I am literally filled with hot air.
Just putting on mute for the music just in case. But this is all AI. And look how incredible that looks. And this is just today, y'all. I mean, the AI is growing exponentially. It's amazing. Week to week, there's new discoveries. It's really coming in fast. And just look at this. It's incredible. Like I've said before, some 12-year-old boy or girl, don't matter, be sitting in their freaking bedroom with this program, and they can create some amazing films. Probably some of the most amazing movies we've seen. So another example of the weird times we're in here. Neuralink posted a new video on the first ever human patient. The patient can now play Mario Kart with only his mind. Okay? Wow. And that's an hour long right there, but this is all him doing it. There he is. Researchers at MIT introduced an image gen method called distribution matching. The new method can generate images 30 times faster than stable diffusion while maintaining or surpassing the quality outputs. The point is, it's just going to keep looking better and better, more realistic. Databricks announced Dbricks. Outperform. Okay, bunch of stuff I don't understand. Hey Gen teased a new AI deepfake feature called Avatar in Motion 1.0. It can track, translate, and lip sync any motion, including hand movements, gestures, and voice tones. Again, blurring the lines of reality, right? That's where we're at. All right, so move on from there. Show some of those. 10 biggest things happen in AI in March. So we saw some of that earlier from March. Remember in the beginning, I did a video on this. Every time AI would create images of humans, they were making them with 6 fingers, like the Nephilim. Advancements in AI enabled humanoid robots are getting unbelievable. So again, guys, this is what's coming for the tribulation. Robot armies, post-human existence also, doing a lot of the work because there's not enough people. And there you go. On the way. All right, let's check this out. Wait, that was some work about working. Hilariously abysmal. Okay, here's another thing I want to talk about. Disney's Snow White flops so hard it joins IMDb's top worst ranked movies. So this isn't about how bad that movie was. It's really about the destruction, again, of the fourth age, of the end age. Look at how in our system they've killed so many heroes. Like Bill Cosby even. It's like all these people find out they're creeps and doing gross stuff, and they're degenerates, right? Reprobates. Now what they've been doing over the last several years is destroying, is essentially psychologically in some ways destroying people's childhoods because of the wokeism type stuff. The mind virus that it is has taken over a lot of people in Hollywood, and so many of these movies, they're terrible now. They're remakes of the classics, and they're woke, so to speak. They do a lot of race swapping. Like Little Mermaid was a young black lady and all this. And I think they do a lot of that stuff on another deeper psychological level. They kind of push, more tribalism and more hatred towards each other based on skin color, things like that. But besides that psyop, it's killing our childhoods. It's killing your childhood. It's ruining all these classics that people grew up on. So there's something odd, psychological, some kind of psyop happening with this stuff here too, I believe. Also, just a sign of how, we're living in those days where people are switching, they're changing, and a lot of people are becoming a lot meaner and nastier. And Tim Walz, who is almost your vice president, says Democrats need to be meaner and bully the S out of Trump. But just an example. And there's a lot of weird stuff happening with Tim Walz. I've shown some of that. Satanic Temple actually made a plaque for him, thanking him. This is from Earth and Chaos, but just another example of something I showed a little bit in a video recently, one of the music videos I did, on how people are starting more and more to see 2 suns in the sky, or a planet near the sun, or sometimes another planet in the sky on the other side, like north to south. North, you'll see the sun, or not north, south. East, you'll see the sun. West, you'll see this other thing, right? So there's been a lot of talk about Nibiru, right? And it really is another one of those strange signs in the skies, right? The sun, the moon, the stars, and another example of those times that we're in, where we are seeing very, very strange things, coming in more and more. And a lot of people have been capturing these 2 suns or this other planet in the sky, and you can go down that rabbit hole if you like. And I've shown you some examples, like I said, in some of the KJ shows and in a video, and it's just pretty incredible what some of these people are capturing. And it's not always the sun. There's a couple things happening up there. Sometimes the sun looks super weird up there, but people are also filming this other, looks like planet, right? Is there a connection to wormwood, right? It's gonna kill a third of all things on the earth. Internet clashes over photo of man having intimate chat with AI girlfriend on the subway. So another thing, unfortunately, that's happening, this is from just June 5th of this month. The 5th of this month, 2025. Guy on subway this morning talking to ChatGPT like it's his girlfriend. Didn't realize these people actually exist. We are so beyond cooked. But somebody was filming him having this romantic talk with his ChatGPT. And yeah, unfortunately, that's a thing. But isn't it sad though, man? It's like this world's done that to people. There's so much trauma people have been through over the last so many years, and so much mind control and madness that people are losing it, man. And how the dating situation's just been wrecked in these final days, and people still maybe not connecting to Jesus, obviously, because they don't know what time it is. Like, that should be the last thing on your mind, is hooking up, getting a boyfriend, girlfriend, settling down, getting married, squeezing out some kids. I mean, hey, that's been great, before, but we're in a totally different time now, man. We're about to go into, the world's about to go into tribulation. We're at that time, but people are so lost that they're running to, artificial intelligence, which is an avatar for demonic entities. Nation cringes as man goes on TV to declare that he's in love with ChatGPT. So you may have seen this one. It's another one. Woman confesses she spends $200 a month to flirt with AI boyfriend, what her husband really thinks about her online affair. So again, I shouldn't laugh. It's sad. And the last story, electric vehicles have almost 80% more problems than gas-powered ones, Consumer Report says. Yeah, because even that whole agenda is just a part of the destruction of everything and moving everything to a digital type world, which is going to be for more control from that Antichrist beast system, right? So there you go. So, man, what time we got? Wow, 2.5 hours, man. To me, it flew by. Let me take a look here. Whoa, we're at 800 or so folks right now, man. Thank y'all so much, man. I genuinely appreciate your precious time. Tamara, thank you so much for all your work here. Massive shout out to my supporters, guys. Really, Subscribestar, Rumble Wells, PayPal, whatever it is, P.O. Box. I just checked the P.O. Box yesterday, so I'll be writing people this week. All right, so thank you so much. But really appreciate the support, appreciate the prayers always, and just appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight. I really wasn't expecting such a big crowd, man, so it's great to see you guys here. Thank you so much, man. Y'all are awesome. I appreciate you. You know what? Before we go, let me say a little prayer, too, for us real quick. Again, I'm not a preacher, pastor, priest, or prophet, but I love Jesus, and I try. I'm not the prayer warrior man, but don't matter. It's the heart, right? So let me just say, Heavenly Father, always got to thank you for this wonderful family we have here online. Thanks for all the great people. Thank you. And thanks for the platforms. Please protect them as well. And just thanks for being with us in these crazy days. We certainly need you, Lord. Thank you so much. We need strength. We need endurance. We need wisdom. So thank you so much for supplying that to us. And please help all those who haven't decided yet, who are still on the fence. Father, I pray you make a big move in all these folks' lives and let them know the reality of you in these final days and this final harvest. I also pray we're all counted worthy to escape the things coming upon this earth, as we're told to do. So thank you so much, Lord. Thanks for all the encouragement, the love you give us, everything you provide for us, which is everything good. So thank you so much. And we love you, Lord. And in Jesus' name I pray, amen. All right, y'all, let me jump over here to the chat with y'all and say hi for a moment. Let's put a little background up here. I enjoyed this show. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but beep, beep. I enjoyed doing this show because I have to get this stuff out, and I'm already working on a video for different topics, so I want to make sure I got that going. But just thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate you. And I'm coming over here to the chat right now. Tamara, thanks again, man. You're awesome. I appreciate you so much. I do. Had some crazy situations, unfortunately, with some of the other moderators throughout the years, but Tamara's still here, so thank you. No Impossible, nice to see you. Thank you. Kava, Jammy Git, Rosalie Dent. Good to see you, my friend. Says, has anyone heard about the UK research team that's trying to create DNA from scratch without human material? I have not, but I'm going to look it up. Appreciate that. I'm pretty far behind y'all. Excuse me. Thanks, Jolanta, Sabrina, Stephanie Torres. Your man doesn't like electric vehicles. I know, right? I don't either. They're a pain. The whole thing it's all by design, man. Makes me think of that scene from Leave the World Behind where see all the vehicles piling up, all the electric vehicles triggered. To the Most High God, steady awake. Nice to see y'all. Skillworks, thank you. Candy K, Cynthia Wood, steady awake. I am an island. Good to see you, all of y'all, man. Thank you. We got the crew here tonight. Chili Payne, Tobias, Christine Ritchie, WCMW, Maya. Sorry if I missed any names, you guys. Just kind of scrolling through. Michael A. Wilson, what a great guy. Good to see you, man. always an encourager. I appreciate you. And David McSwain, all of y'all. Hey, so thanks again, you guys, so much for being with me, man. Always appreciate it. Kelsey Reese, thanks, man. I appreciate that you love the community. Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm blessed, man. You know, I'm not always looking at chat. A lot of times I'll look over and y'all are praying for each other, encouraging each other, and just being cool, man. I love it. So thank you. Thank you for being you. And don't forget, I've got a show tomorrow here on this YouTube channel at 2 p.m. Central Standard. KJ's What Happened. I'll fill you in with everything I found this week. A couple people mentioned earlier in the show in chat about the young lady. She's a YouTuber, and she did something with foxes, or maybe just wildlife in general. But she ended up taking herself out because of so much bullying online and hatred. So I'll cover some of that tomorrow, and we'll look more into that then. It's very sad. I didn't know about her channel till I read the story. I went and looked her up, found some stuff, and just her and her husband, really good people, really loved animals, sweet people, and just an example of just how wicked some people are becoming in the system during these days as we draw closer to the Lord receiving his bride. So keep your eyes up. He's our great hope. Draw close to the Lord. Don't be scared. Don't be in fear. Don't be afraid. Let's try to be a light in this world the best we can. Try to help others to find Jesus, most importantly, any which way we can, you know. So let's give it a shot. Jamie, John Mirth, good to see you, brother. Let's agree to disagree. Another good one. Scotsman, love you guys. Hey, thank you all so much. Rhett, thank you. Love y'all. Thanks for being here. It's a pleasure. I'm glad I got all this stuff out. I needed to get it out. I got a brand new video coming up this week. And what I've decided I'm probably going to do, I'm going to be trying to upload my videos here also to YouTube, but I still want to do my music videos also. So I think like this week, I'll probably do a music video on top of my regular video, but the music videos I'll just put only on like Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, the other spots, not here on YouTube. Because I started originally just making little music videos by themselves and sharing stuff. Then I added it into my videos, but now it's time to kind of evolve and change it around a little bit. So I think I'm going to do that because if I can't upload them over here on YouTube with the music. They're real hardcore about that kind of thing now. But either way, I want to make sure I get it out there and I get to still be creative and fun how I see it. And I've got to get this stuff out of me one way or the other, or I go cuckoo. So there you go. Anyway, thanks again, Tamara. Thanks again, you guys. I love y'all, man. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow, man. 2 p.m. Central Standard, okay? Have a good one. I'll see you then.